What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
Yes, guys. It's a playoff game tomorrow. That's the way I see it. And we are less than 24 hours away from game day, guys. It's here. And this is a big-time playoff game in my mind. Yes, it's Week 18. Yes, it's against the Commanders. Yeah, whatever, they suck. But we got to win this game.
Yeah,
we can set us up for a true run at that one thing we want. That's number 6.
We have something worth playing for, right?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Now, with that said, of course, we're going to get into the final regular season, pre-game live stream here at My Cowboys Family. As we roll into things tonight, guys, though, of course, we have to shout out the people making MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly, on the pre-stream, too. We'll talk about that in a second. Thank you very much to the sponsor of the week and the membership gifting king.
You know him.
Jason Renfro.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Jason. Appreciate you. And he was the stream boss. But after some pre-stream love, the man Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, took over with his $4 pre-stream holler saying, here we go, go Cowboys.
It was a DAC drop right there. Much love to Dwayne Broussard as he's moving up slowly up the board. And again, these are important now. This week and next week, you'll see why. Showing up there in the bottom right corner. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yes, much love to Dwayne Broussard with the pre-stream drop. Amazing games. Also jumping in the membership side of things. So back in the membership, his monthly membership. So he's in the navy blue crew. I'll announce a couple other things here because we had Skeptical Fan dropping Streamlab. Right through the Streamlab message on screen, as you can see there. But also gifting a membership and also dropping some love in the Cash App. I'll explain it all in a minute here. We also have Stanley Smith in the Cash App. All that will be explained. But maybe, as we were saying, Jason Renfro running the boards right now when it comes to Sponsor Week and the gifting champion. But Dwayne Broussard took over, the top dog, as the stream boss with currently 98 points. And, of course, the man that you know why he's here on the nightly, Snug X.
Woo!
He's back-to-back in it like our 90s Cowboys in the Cash App side. Will he three-peat it? Well, baby, we had a lot of different leaders on this board.
Yes,
we have 4 different people at the board. And last was Jason Renfro. But because of, first off, 2 Cash App drops by Stanley Smith. Man, he was rocking that board 3 out of 5 weeks a little while ago. Stanley Smith, he dropped a 20 and a 10 on it just over the last 10 hours. So he moves right into like the 3rd place spot on the Cash App board, and he's moving up the overall board. Also, of course, automatically 3 jersey raffles. 3 raffle entries for this jersey. You'll see for the 4 jersey raffle we got going on for the playoffs. But Stanley Smith put himself right there in the middle of the pack. And of course, Jason Renfro was right in front of him by a couple. But after the $10.01 holler from the man staying skeptical fan, yes, he is our current leader in the Cash App side.
Woo.
And I'll read out what he said here again. He had dropped $2 earlier today in the Cash App, Mr.
And
Skeptical
Fan. Super chat holler, too.
Well, a Streamlabs one, right. It was a Streamlabs drop. He said 31-17 Cowboys win. That's Skeptical Fan's prediction, which we'll have a little predictions tonight as well as a couple maybe bold predictions. His other drop was a $2 holler in the Cash App, 31-17. He also the same thing there. Cowboys final prediction score. So he's putting the Cowboys, they're up by 2 touchdowns against Washington in Washington. And then he dropped a $10.01 holler here at the buzzer, basically, at the right before we went live. And he said just to pass Jason Renfro on the Cash App board, which is exactly what he did on the Cash App side. He's 3rd place on the overall board behind, of course, currently Jason Renfro in 1st place and JD from DC, who, by the way, he's our current membership gifting leader. JD from DC and repping in enemy territory, repping that star for everything. Much love to JD. But yes, he's currently the membership leader over Jason Renfro by a good handful, but like almost 2 touchdowns worth. So we'll see what happens on that today and tomorrow as we crown some champions. Tomorrow after the live stream here during the game. But again, those are a couple drops from Skeptical Fan. We also had again a couple drops from Stanley Smith that puts him in 3rd place on the Cash App board. He said, go Cowboys on both of those drops, so appreciate him. And then we also had, again, amazing games I made to mention there. Dwayne Broussard pre-stream drop. I think I caught everyone up right now. There's other ways to support the channel here. A lot of different ways. This is Super Chat, which you just saw Dwayne Broussard pre-stream. You could jump in the membership like Amazing Games is in there on his own, right? You also had gifting memberships, which Skeptical Fan did before pre-stream. By the way, who got that lucky membership? Was it Baby Chaos?
It was Baby Chaos, yeah.
So, again, another way of helping out the family here and also dropping your support and love for the channel. And then there's the thanks button, which I guess is the only non-example we have right now. But there's 4 other ways you can show the love here, spread the love to the channel. And it all goes, this stuff goes towards the Cash App side of things. So, baby, what are the 4 ways? By the way, 3 out of those 4 were used today already. But what are those 4 ways?
You have, of course, the Cash App, money sign, MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen like a super chat.
Yes, and as we always say, there's that star level and over everything level shout-outs on the nightly here that we do. Of course,
they get the extra perks, right?
You know it. And of course, there's the monthly star and over everything level jersey, monthly member, the monthly jersey raffles here for the star and over everything level. So let's shout them out right now, baby, as we leave that up on the screen. Because if you get in the star over everything, sometime in the next 2.5 weeks, we're going to have one jersey giveaway, of course, to somebody, one person in the star and over everything level. So, baby, without further ado, who are the fantastic top shelf membership?
Thank you very much. The Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potts, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Broussard, The Lunatic, and over everything, Seabass.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate everybody on those levels and on the Navy Blue and Silver 2 crews as well. But, baby, all this matters even more this week, not just because the playoffs are around the corner, not just because this Washington game is like a playoff game, but it's also because we have a very special raffle, a 4-jersey raffle. So there's just 4 winners, and they all get the same prize. And you have, 4 different people going to win a jersey each, sewn and stitched. Cowboy Mosh, you know how he does it. The same ones you just saw there that I just put up. Here's another example of all the different kinds, old school, new school, different styles, sizes, men, women, children, all the good. And if we have it, you got it, guys. So if we have that style in stock, you will get it. There's like 30 or 40 different guys to choose from. Of course, let me always have to say this, because some people from other teams on here that are in the raffle, but it is any team in the NFL, that whatever choices we have from them. And of course, it's even any sport, especially the 4 major sports. So you can choose from a lot of different options. But of course, here we push that star over everything. So hopefully you guys take the Cowboy jersey, of course. But either way, that's the prizes. All 4 prizes. First, second, third, and fourth. There's no first. It's 4 winners, and they all get to choose the jersey they kind of want. If we have the ones we have available with the style they want, sizes, and of course all that good stuff. So how does this work, baby? How do people get in this thing and try to up their chances to win one of these jerseys?
Well, they drop a $10, bam, automatically entered, and that is cumulative, right? So 5 2s, 2 5s, like that gets you an entry. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry. If you're in the membership, guess what? You automatically get a bonus entry just for being an MCF member.
When you hit that $10,
well,
right?
Of course.
Yeah, gotta mention that.
You gotta enter in order to get the bonus. So, and of course, like we kind of mentioned already, Mr. MCF said it's 4 individual winners. So, and that everything you've added throughout this week does stack, and we'll be doing it heading into next week as well. So thank you, Jason Renfro, by the way, who just dropped a $2.48 holler. You know what he said?
What did he say?
34-10 Cowboys. Go Cowboys.
Hell yeah, go Cowboys. And he didn't stop there, baby. He also dropped a $1 holler in the Cash App, and that loud, proud, go Cowboys.
Woo, thank you, Jason, once more.
Yes.
Appreciate you. And
so he's trying to get a little closer to Skeptical in first place there.
Well, not just that, but I'm seeing a trend between his score and Jason Renfro's score. So they're very similar.
Oh, yeah. 31. Close. Well, this is a little more of a blowout for Jason Renfro, which I'm kind of more on this side than on Skeptical side and Jason's side than it is. I think it should be that kind of 20-point plus win for us.
I'm going to save my score prediction for when we get closer to our bold predictions, just because they're very closely tied.
Yes, guys. Throughout the night, we'll be, of course, throughout this week and next week, up until whenever we play either Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. Expect it to be Sunday or Monday, because we do play on Sunday. The AFC game will probably be on Saturday. They're probably both AFC games. 2 out of the 3 games will probably be on Saturday. But the Sunday games, I mean, it's going to probably be a Sunday game for the Cowboys or that Monday night game. No matter what it is, we'll be counting up all these raffle entry, the totals and everything. Get your raffles stacked and the unlimited entries, kind of ordered for you guys. So we'll know exactly how much, you got each for each person, including, of course, the bonus membership raffle for those that are in the membership side of things. But yeah, this is going to happen around halftime of our big game, our big wild card game next week sometime. That's Colleen right. K, congrats to you winning a gifted membership in the Navy Blue crew by who?
Congrats to congrats to Colin K, but thank you to Brandon James.
Yep, Brandon James in the house. You
always do it backwards.
I just congratulated her, baby. That's why I said congratulated her. I can't see I can never see the person who gifted it. So, Brandon James, much love. Thank you. I'm putting him up on that board, and he's also getting put up on the overall board as well.
That's right.
I think he's 5 away from a entry here, his first entry, and if he is in the membership, if he's in the membership by the time we get to the game, the raffle, you get yourself another bonus membership. So he's 5 away from that. Much love to Brandon James, and much love to the gifting side of things as he gets up on that board.
Now let me go ahead and start doing some shout outs here. Although we got to shout out Brandon James once more because he just shared another membership.
Wow!
Congrats to Kenzie Bands.
Kenzie in the house. Much love to him. He gets again, gifted membership raffle into that Navy Blue crew.
Drop him if you got him.
Thank you to Brandon James, who's now officially in the raffle. And if he stays in that membership, he'll get a bonus second raffle. Of course, like I said, he puts another 10 in there. He gets another raffle entry. It's unlimited.
Yeah, they keep stacking.
Yeah, so appreciate you, Brandon. I'm putting him on the board and on the gifting board as well.
So let me go ahead, like I said, start rolling through with some of the shout-outs like Fuego, saying, damn, the Deadskins still haven't fixed their plumbing issues yet? Nope, still smells like shit.
Yeah.
Rolando Rodriguez, much love. Yeah, we're going to talk about the weather. It started off not looking so great. Actually, it's been trending slightly more positive. So I think for a January game, probably about the best you could ask for, personally speaking. Anyway, Mike Aldana in the house saying, Rivera will be tarred and feathered on his way out of that dumpster called FedEx Field. I don't understand how anybody can blame him for the hot mess that is Washington, although he is technically the head coach. So
he's got
I guess he gets some collateral damage, right?
He's got a hand to play. He's in it. He's doing
Brandon
it.
James, what's up? Much love. Lost in translation, hello and hi. We have, of course, Jason Renfro, Texas Twisters. Stay safe out there on the road. Oh, man, weather's bad in Massachusetts. Yeah, I know there's a big storm in the Northeast, so if you're up in the Northeast or around that general area, please stay safe. Sure to stock up.
Yep.
Tammy Soltis, hello and hi. Speaking of, House Nelson in the house saying, I saw an infinite amount more Dallas fans than I saw Washington fans today in Virginia. No surprises there. I think the game is nearly sold out or something like that, and it's like all Cowboy fans. So
we're assuming so.
Gaming for Jesus, hello and hi. Devontae Alvarez in the house. C. Bass, you know what's up. Dwayne Broussard, the top dog himself. Daniel Berry Sports, hello. Choice Roberts, much love. Let me see, who else is here? Mike Aldana, hello and hi. Roy Strassner, what's up? AOD. Even if you're a Dolphins fan. Tornado, hello and hi.
Roy's in the house. Mr. Strassner. I know, I'm just calling him out because, hey, it's great to see Roy in the house.
Skeptical. It's just a little confusing to me when I just shouted somebody out and then you shout them out right after I do.
Sometimes I like the double shout out.
Oh, no, please, go ahead.
I just did. Roy Strassner, third time.
All good on my side.
You got any more?
Nope.
Fuego, Mike Aldana, Kenzie, congrats. There's AOD. And Dwayne Broussard, Devontae Alvarez, thank you all for repping here. Of course, thank you to the Lunatic for the 4 jersey raffle. Coming around the corner here, guys, in what? Maybe 8, maybe 9 days. Depends on when the game is scheduled for. We won't know that until after tomorrow's games. And I'm talking about probably halftime of the 8 o'clock game tomorrow, the Dolphins and Bills. Probably around halftime they'll announce the schedule more or less of what the plan is for Saturday's playoff games next week, Sunday's playoff games are, and of course the Monday night game as well. So we'll see how all that lays out, and can't wait to see what happens with that. But more importantly, we got to get that second seed. And you can see from this picture here, I know it's for the jerseys, I know it's a raffle entry, but we don't know which team we're going to play next week yet. Right now, a high percentage, it could be the Rams or the Packers. That's the most probable. But there's outside chances we get the Seahawks, the Saints, even the Vikings, and the Buccaneers even. That would be the worst case scenario. That means we lost and we got into 5th seed there. So that would suck. But all these are options for next week. The hope, of course, is that the Cowboys can corral that 2nd seed. Hey, we get a home game. I'm not really worried, even though the Rams are probably the toughest team in this group. I don't care. I'm not really. At home, we should be able to beat any of these 6 teams you've seen on the left side of your screen. On top of that, I wouldn't mind seeing Green Bay being the team, not because they're easier or harder, more so because McCarthy gets to dump his old team out the playoffs. That'd be kind of perfect, in my opinion, there. So either way, appreciate the Lunatics raffle open here, and we'll keep stacking up the raffle entries as you guys drop the love. But now it's time to, I know you did the shout-outs. Now it's time to get into it. First, a couple of comments from the chat, if you don't mind, baby.
I mean, I kind of read a few as I did the shout-outs, but I guess I'll read a few more here. Go for it. Mike Aldana saying, Rivera, managing for 3.5 years and actually coaching these last few games? Right?
Yeah, now trying hard.
Hey, he had to coach eventually, right? Tammy Sotis saying, do you think that the Commanders will try harder, being that it's, Rivera's birthday and the whole coaching staff may be gone on Monday?
I mean, definitely trying harder. I agree. The Washington Commanders are going to try extremely hard at the players and the coaches are going to try real hard to get the win, look good on film, so that other teams, other coaching positions, these guys are playing for their future jobs as well, not necessarily in Washington, but yeah, I think they're going to try their hardest to win. Now the front office, they want a lot of these guys benched. Some of the players that they're going to keep here, like Jonathan Allen, a little bruised up, don't matter. They rather keep him healthy for next year. And hey, the front office and the fans, they actually want Washington to lose because they can keep that 2nd or 3rd overall pick in the draft. So that's what it's about. But, the players play with heart, the coaches play with heart, or coach with heart. You got to be careful. You got to be wary. You got to be aware about this, subpar Washington Commander team. Brandon James, never subpar, dropping that 5 on it. Woo. Much love to Brandon in the house with the $5 holler, taking Dwayne Broussard at 91 points. And also, of course, halfway to another raffle entry from Brandon James. What did the man say?
C.J. Stroud solidifies rookie season for the ages to send the Texans to the playoffs.
Yeah, a fucking great season for a rookie. He don't even feel like a rookie. He feels like a 4-year, 5-year veteran. So got to give the Texans their due. We'll talk about them in a minute. A credit to them. And I know Eastside somewhere lurking, watching. Maybe he's celebrating right now. Congrats to his Texans being one of the worst team last year. Now, all of a sudden, a playoff team possibly could be a division champion if the Jaguars lose tomorrow. So a lot of things still up in the air. And tomorrow's game is going to be crazy because it's going to be basically about, out of the remaining games, there's like 2 or 3 that are like meaningless, other than for draft position. Outside of that, across the board, every game is important tomorrow.
By the way, congratulations. Well. Traveling Fools just joined up into that navy blue crew.
Much love to TF. Much love to him. We've had some after dark discussions over there on his channel, our channel. So appreciate Traveling Fools. He's a Dolphin fan, so of course the fool part of his name makes sense. But we should talk. I appreciate you, Traveling Fools, and your wife and your great channel. So appreciate you. But you know how this goes. Thank you. Welcome to the membership. And go Cowboys. Of course, he's 5 away from being in the Cowboy Mosh jersey raffle. So if he wants to win himself a Dolphin jersey, well, that's one way of doing it, right? Going in there and another 5. He gets 2 raffle entries because he got the 10, and then he's in the membership. That's another bonus entry. So that's how that goes. Even if you're a Dolphin fan. So how it goes. Traveling Fools in the membership. Much love to him. And go Cowboys. Fuck the Dolphins.
So let me see here. Let me go ahead and keep reading some of these comments here real quick. By the way, Sergio Acosta, I agree. He says, I hate that I pay for NFL Plus. I can't even watch the Cowboys game. Trust me, the NFL tries to fleece you in every which freaking direction. Yeah. So, now he added in there as well, they're not slouches. They can definitely come up with an upset considering how we've been playing. Yeah. And again, it's on the road. It's an NFC East matchup. You just never know. But realistically speaking, they have benched the last of the handful of few players that were not just healthy, but even halfway decent enough to try and make a play. We are going to play our starters. I don't think it should take that much to beat this team, even with let's say, mistakes and errors and fuck-ups or whatever on our side.
If we struggle or we play poorly or we look bad, it's not because Washington's that good. It's because we're not that good.
I was going to say, it's definitely going to add to that same narrative, which is why, to me, it is highly important. Out of all the games we've played, man, let's put this one away nice and early and let our backups hold the fort down after halftime.
Yeah.
Like that in my mind is the goal, right? We don't have a bye week, but if we can bench our starters for even 2 quarters, heck, that's half of a bye week to me, right? It's a mini
bye, right? It's a mini bye.
So, and that's the way that I'm kind of looking at things heading into this, but I'm definitely not just like, oh, we're going to just go in there and absolutely kill them and dominate. I'm expecting it and hoping for it, but there's still a part of me that's a little wary, just kind of going like, okay, just don't get too ahead of yourselves, Cowboys. So, anyway, with that said, let me continue to shout out
Brandon James, another one here, moving up the board. He's 3 away now from another raffle entry here. And I'll be checking on that snug. I'll be checking on Eastside. I don't know why he's not showing up, but
yeah, we had an issue recently with
we had some people blocking
people.
We had some people blocking people because they were saying pro other teams things. That's bullshit. We're not gonna allow that here. Some people get a little ruffled in the feathers. Too bad. Just can't have people going rogue on the mods. So we found a mod doing this. We're gonna have to got to do what we gotta do. Take the wrench. If they cry, they cry.
Yes, the wrench is a privilege, not a right.
Correct. And it's not because you're in there. You keep it forever.
Most of the people are cool.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Our mods are the mod squad. Mod squad is great. And listen, this guy was also a great mod too, but he's just a little too sensitive. So it is the way it is. You got to follow the rules. Give him multiple chances. You get cut from the mod squad. Some people cry and leave. Some people stay and understand. Hey, they're big boys. Either way.
And we know Eastside probably has quite a bit to say after tonight's game.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Hey, listen, I'll try to see. I'm going to try to quickly give a quick look while you finish.
Yeah, and Xavier, the playoff schedule, like the official solidified one, won't be out until all the games have been played. But
usually by halftime of the tomorrow night's game, the Bills-Dolphins game, that's probably when you'll see the
schedule come out, official. And then they usually put out, for the last game, the winner of this game. Right.
It'll be this or this, or this or this. You know what I'm saying? That's usually the way they're going to do it. But we'll have the NFC stuff ready it should be ready by halftime tomorrow night. So we won't be live, but after the game, after our game, we'll know that, we'll know Monday, basically. We'll go through it here and just kind of, confirm it. But we'll retweet it on our Twitter page and make sure that, you guys are in the know on that.
Rolling back a little bit here, too. Fuego said, drop off your score predictions for tomorrow. I'll start Cowboys 40, Deadskins 17. Tammy Soltis said 35-17 Cowboys. I know we had, I think it was 31-17 Cowboys by Skeptical.
34-10 by Jason.
34-10 by Jason. I have to admit, I'll tentatively say that I do think we keep them to under 20. Even with the backups and everything else, I do think that Washington stays under 20. So,
yeah, I don't see how they can go over 20.
I will leave the Cowboys score prediction, like I said, for later because it ties into my bold prediction, like I said. So no spoilers, no spoilers. Tom Cook, what's up?
Is Eastside Harold 2.0 or is it Eastside Harold?
Should be Eastside Harold 2.0, I think. Right?
Okay, so there he is. He's back in there.
I guess if you see Eastside Harold, I guess unblock that.
I have
one too.
400 people blocked. It's taking me a long time to go through this whole thing, but I think I found him, so he should be good. If he's an old troll, then he's probably not here anyways. But
Mike Aldana said Rivera wanted to play Brissett, but was pressured by ownership to play Howell instead. For a second, I thought you said Rivera wanted to play Brisket, and I was slightly confused for my weird reading.
That's what I think. I think that the front office is like, we want to blow this game, so make sure you guys, play Sam Howell, let him go crazy if they're throwing the ball. See, just see what we can do because he's the one staying for the future of our team, not Jacoby Brissett. So, I think I'm with that, actually. I mean, there's no proof of this, but I think that's probably, I would guess that's the way things are headed because of the front offices want to lose this game and want to keep that higher draft pick.
There we go. Xavier Hidalgo said 38-24 Cowboys. Bobby Garrett said Cowboys 27-10. We have Sergio Acosta saying 33-7. Clark motherfucking Kent, what's up? And the final thing I'll say here, before I hand things off officially, Mr. MCF, don't forget, guys, to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop into the raffle if you would like to. I'll drop that info here in the chat, but baby.
I'll keep building raffle entries, right?
Break it down for me. What's going on?
NFL
all the Cowboy stuff.
Let's hold the Cowboy stuff. We're going to go NFL because there were some big games today, as Brandon James mentioned. But before we get even to the games, there was interesting changes going on. NFL today distributed to every NFL team It's 2023-2024 anti-tampering policy.
Okay.
And hiring documents. This is about coaches now. Like, this is important for us because Quinn is going to be sought after. The key changes is to the cadence for head coaching interviews.
Okay.
Which cannot happen in person anymore with current NFL assistants up until January 22nd. So they pushed that back. You just can't start interviewing them now, which is good because they're focusing on these games. Then that's on the current, coaches that are currently still in the playoffs, next round and on. But those restrictions don't apply. That January 22nd restriction does not apply to interviewing GM candidates.
Okay.
And one of those guys is Will McClay. I'm hearing that he's going to be interviewed by a lot of different places. But, those guys can be hired while their teams are still in the playoffs. But it has to have written permission. We'll see if Jerry gives that. And then, again, there's a lot of rules regarding coordinators, quarterback coaches, GMs, and assistant GMs. Contact with college coaches, all these things, there's different rules, and I'm not going to go through them all. But that's just letting you know there's a lot of changes there when it comes to tampering with coaching with teams that are in the playoffs. So, also with these playoffs on the horizon, 5 quarterbacks, before even we get to the playoffs, the end of the season, regular season, 5 quarterbacks are expected to make their first start of the season this weekend. 66 different starting quarterbacks will now have started an NFL game this year. The only non-strike season with more quarterbacks was last year. Had 68 different quarterbacks starting last season. So yeah, we're 4 shy of that, looks like. But either way,
again, between,
a lot of new faces.
I was going to say, between having
teams.
the extra game, which I think does impact things, right? Just unfortunate waves of quarterback injuries. Lots of teams still trying to figure out what they want to do at quarterback. That's insanity. Sorry, I just never expected that. And I guess that probably also has a little bit to do with that new quarterback rule, too.
Yeah.
Although since that's only been implemented this year, and I don't think anyone's used it.
They never got to that third quarterback yet. Yeah.
Thank goodness, right? Yeah. Brandon James, shout out to you, by the way. He dropped a $2 holler saying, "Go Cowboys, go Cowboys," and F the Philadelphia
Fuck
Eagles.
Philly, go Cowboys. And with that drop, that J-Lou too, he's 1 away from another raffle entry. And he dropped Dwayne Brassard to that Schoon Maker, 86.
Ooh, there you go.
Now, we also had an 86 here last year. His name was Dalton Schultz. Just so you guys know, of course, his Texans today played. If you just didn't see it, it just ended about an hour ago or so. The Texans edged out the Indianapolis Colts at Indianapolis in this game tonight to clinch a playoff spot, possibly a home field game in the playoffs if Jacksonville blows their game tomorrow. So, again, rookie quarterback playing unbelievable, lights out, C.J. Stroud, second overall pick of the draft. And the Houston Texans, of course, wrapped up a playoff spot. They won 23-19, with the victory over the Colts, knocking the Colts out of the playoffs. Devin Singletary scored the go-ahead touchdown on a 3-yard run with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left. They missed the extra point, but they held them off, took a safety at the end, and then they had one last play, which was, those Hail Mary kind of, not Hail Mary, but those lateral plays they keep trying to extend. It's a big old Stanford kind of, Stanford touchdown play, if you guys know what that means in college. But the Houston Texans they finished the season 10-7. Going to the postseason for the first time since 2019. The Texans, Eastside Harold's Texans, won 7 of their last 10 games. And like I said, can still win this AFC South if Jacksonville loses at Tennessee tomorrow, which shouldn't happen, but you never know. That's why they play the games. The Colts dropped to 9-8, are officially eliminated from the playoffs. With
a game.
Yeah, with their 3rd loss in 5 weeks. So they dropped bad. They haven't made the postseason since 2020. Now, up next for them, Texans have to wait and see if Jacksonville wins or loses before finding out who and where they will play next weekend. So obviously that Jacksonville-Tennessee game of utmost importance. It would have been important anyways. Whoever won this game would be challenging the Jacksonville Jaguars for that top spot. But the reason I mentioned number 86, and you say Dwayne Brassard's 86 points there, Schoon Maker, but last year was a Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz and, of course, Noah Brown are both on the Texans. Noah Brown missed this game. He was injured. Damn. But Dalton Schultz played this game, and he needed 6 catches at Indianapolis to reach 60 catches for the year. That would trigger a $250,000 incentive. And he also needed 107 receiving yards to reach 700 this year, which would trigger another $250,000 of incentives. So he had half a million dollars of incentives on the line today. Of course, the 107 receiving was going to be hard, but making 6 catches for Dalton Schultz, that shouldn't be that bad, right? Tonight, he caught 5 passes.
Ouch.
One short of getting he was 1 pass completion short this season of getting $250,000. So
I have to admit, that
Schultz shit the bed.
Gotta hurt.
Yeah, Schultz
really bad.
Schultz shits the bidsky. So there you go. Now and Noah Brown was out of this game, but
hopefully
both guys have helped.
Is for making the postseason makes up for it. Maybe.
Well, both him and Noah Brown definitely helped the Texans this year. You got to give those guys credit for doing what they're doing without the star in the helmet. But they playing well for a team that doesn't have many weapons out there. They're some of the weapons.
They were some of the biggest contributors.
Yeah, they're some of the big weapons for them. The other game was earlier this afternoon. It was a close game, but it was kind of boring because they had a lot of backups in, especially on the Ravens side. Steelers did end up beating the Ravens by 7 to get a 66% chance to clinch a playoff spot. If they had lost, they were down to 14%. So it was a big win for Pittsburgh, although I hate Pittsburgh, and I don't want to see them in the playoffs.
Neither do I.
I see a back-to-back drop here. Brandon James Shea with a $2 holler, and then Jason Renfro with a $2 J. Lou holler. Woo. What did both these ballers have to say?
So Brandon James said, the Cowboys signed Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb now. Well, the good thing is Dak's already signed.
Yeah, well, in the offseason. In the offseason is what he's talking about. We got to sign them. When we get the offseason, got to give CeeDee his new contract, and we got to extend Dak Prescott. I agree.
And Jason Renfro, much love with his $2 holler, saying the Cowboys win and the She-Girls lose to the Giants.
That'd be an extra bonus. But if we win, I don't really care what happens to the Eagles. They can win their game.
Honestly,
and feel good.
I just want the Eagles crushed and demoralized.
More and more.
Better feeling than to lose heading into the playoffs. Yeah, and especially losing to the Giants heading into the playoffs. I mean, come on, that's like the cherry on top of my sundae.
That would be nice. I do agree. Much love to both you guys. Dwayne's at 84 points. That was a little, boxing out there on the board, self-boxing there. But either way, appreciate both of you guys with your 2 and 2. It equals 4 Dak Prescott. So thank you guys, and go Cowboys. Now, you can see we're in our full Dallas Cowboy outfits tonight. So this other game, Steelers, it was the Steelers at the Ravens, and with the win, Steelers moved closer to getting clinching a playoff spot. Mason Rudolph, their quarterback, threw a 71-yard touchdown pass to Deontay Johnson on the first play of the fourth quarter, and Pittsburgh at that point took a step. It was 7-7. It was 14-7 at that point. They hit a field goal a little later, made it 17-7. Baltimore had to settle for a field goal late in the game and try to get an onside kick, and then they didn't get it. It was 17-10 was the final. Rudolph led Pittsburgh to a 10-7 record, 3 straight wins to close the season, and now the Steelers have to wait. They would make the playoffs Sunday if Buffalo loses to Miami or Jacksonville loses to Tennessee. The other option was if there was a tie in this game tonight, but of course there was no tie. They also had a chance to clinch the playoff berth if the Houston Colts game, the Houston Tennessee Indianapolis game was a tie. But bad news for the Steelers though. Their pass rushing extraordinaire T.J. Watt had 2 sacks and took sole possession of the NFL sack lead with 19 sacks this year. He had to leave in the third quarter because of a knee injury.
Oh, shit.
And based on the initial tests, the potential Defensive Player of the Year, along with Micah and Myles Garrett and a couple others, T.J. Watt is believed to have suffered a grade 3 MCL sprain. Not good, guys. He'll have further tests, so it could still be worse. But at the very least, it's that. And it's
least it's not a tear?
Yeah, it's probably the best case scenario, but he still is a multi-week injury.
Yeah. Especially grade 3, that's
obviously much better than an ACL tear, but not good. If Pittsburgh makes the playoffs, they're going to be without T.J. Watt for at least a week, maybe 2, if they even get that far. So that's just the update there. And like I said, guys, the only way the Steelers get in the playoffs, they still need one of these 2 things to happen. Jacksonville has to lose or tie to Tennessee, which let's assume Jacksonville wins that. Then the Bills have to lose to the Dolphins. So if the Jags win, and the Bills beat the Dolphins, Pittsburgh's out, which is kind of what I'm hoping for. So anyway, that's what you got there. Now, since the NFL went to a 14-team playoff format back in 2020, only one team has missed the playoffs that has had 10 or more wins, and that was the 2020 Dolphins. They were 10-6. They didn't get in the playoffs. But with the Steelers winning today, now they're 10-7. The Bills are 10-6. One of those teams are missing the playoffs. You guys feel me? So they both can't make it. So what happens there is if the Bills win their game, they're 10-7, they're making it, but the 10-7 Steelers are out. If they lose their game, the Steelers are making it at 10-7, but the 10-7 Bills are out. So this will be the second time a 10-7 team will not make the playoffs in the short history of the 7 the 7 teams on each side, the 14-team format.
I have to admit, I wasn't sure at first how the playoff situation would go when they added this extra game and when they kind of tweaked the playoff availability of the teams and stuff like that, I am a big fan. This has been the most exciting final week of the regular season I think I've ever gotten to experience. So many playoff scenarios happening, so many teams, possibly in or out based on how they played to, this weekend. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just think it's actually very exciting.
It's good. I do agree it's very exciting. I will say one thing, though. Even though it does give a seventh place team a chance to upset the second place team. Like, we might be in that situation. But it also usually waters it down a little bit, the playoffs. It makes the games probably a little less exciting when you have a 7th-ranked team to a 2nd-ranked team. But again, and that's, it's also not a series. When it's a one-game thing, if you have a bad day, that could be it for you in the playoffs, even if you're the Niners. So
exactly. That's why I think it is a little bit different. And again,
so we've talked about this
before, too. Those top teams have earned the right to face off against the crappier teams, so to speak. Honestly, it just makes winning your division or getting the 1st or 2nd seed that much more important than it used to. Because before, at least the teams squeaking in tended to be slightly higher caliber. Now that you have, I think, a wider range of team quality, you know what I mean? Getting that 1st or 2nd seed absolutely could mean the difference between an NFC Championship appearance and beyond, or, just a high and by in the playoffs. So with that said, too, I want to shout out big aloha to Marco Seppi.
Hey, Mark, in the house.
Mike Aldana cracking me up saying ownership just doesn't want to pay Schultz. So, and Jason Renfro, it's not an MCL tear. I think that's what they initially feared it was. It was confirmed after the game. It's just a sprain.
I'm still checking it. But yeah, there's no
So as far as we know, he's not out for the rest of the year. But like you said, since it's a multi-week injury, usually.
At the very least.
Don't know what that means for his availability for the playoffs.
Severity is pretty bad. With a grade 3.
Yeah, remember, grade 3 is just short of
a tear.
Yeah.
So they're saying that basically, every sprain is a tear of some sort.
Yeah, but I think a level 4 sprain at that point, I think a level 4 sprain is basically like a level 1 tear.
Yeah, so
if you wanna.
The point is that even if it's not torn and it's a severe sprain, he's probably not going to play much at all these playoffs. Maybe if they get, again, the Steelers have to get past a lot of teams to even hope they see T.J. Watt play, which is a major blow for them. Not that they would have won their games anyways, but
still,
if they make the playoffs, it doesn't look good for him to even play that much if he plays at all. So just going to leave it at that. But yeah, if we hear it's a tear, we'll let you know. Right now, it has not been confirmed it is a tear. Right now, it's been confirmed it's a grade 3 level, or level 3 sprain. Grade 3 sprain, I guess you call it there. Yeah. So anyways, we'll move on. Because forget the other teams. Fuck them all. We care about our Cowboys. Unfortunately, 17 years ago tonight, I'll never forget this. On January 6, 2007, Cowboys holder and starting quarterback Tony Romo bungled the snap on a potential go-ahead 19-yard field goal attempt with a minute 19 remaining to play against the Seattle Seahawks in the 2006. It was in 2007, but it was 2006 season NFC wildcard game in Seattle. Of course, Seattle ended up winning 21-20 instead of us winning 23-21 and going to the next round. Well, they got us on that one because of a fucked up snap. That was literally 17 years ago today. And again, a lot of people say this, but it's mine as well. Like, that's one of the most unforgettable losses in my life. Watching that, it was almost unbelievable. It also was the last game ever coached by Bill Parcells. After that, he couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I can see why I would give up coaching after that too.
It was that. And then the Jones is always peeking around the corner on him.
I'm being a little dramatic there,
I know. But that was Romo's kind of halfway year. He came in there as our third stringer and was doing great the whole year. Got us almost to the next round of the playoffs. But Romo did overcome this scar that never really heals. Right? He overcame it, became an exceptional starting quarterback, and hey, we had a chance to make little runs here and there. Never got there, but that was a heartbreaking situation for my life. Thinking about that game, that hurt so much watching Romo have that ball slip through his hands there to just hold an easy 19-yard field goal kick. Oh my goodness. Anyways, let's get to our game. That was 17 years ago. We'll talk about now, today, now. And then we have a game coming on tomorrow, guys, and it is against, of course, the Washington Commies, the Commanders, the Commodes, whatever you want to call them. So this game tomorrow, guys, against Washington in D.C., it's been, according to the Washington Commanders website, It's sold out. FedEx Field is sold out. Can you believe that for the season finale? I can't believe it. Well,
yeah, I think it's the first time FedEx Field has been sold out all year.
It feels like it's the first time it's been sold out this year. But we know the fact that it's sold out, I mean, it's sold out with a bunch of Washington Commander fans. It means that they didn't say they've sold out to primarily their fan base. It's just that they sold out. And you know what that means, guys. It's going to be a lot of that navy blue, silver too. A lot of stars shining in the crowd for our fan base showing out like we always do. So I want to see every single Cowboy fan come out to that game if you're living near there. I know JD from DC will be out there.
I know Thomas Garrett drove up there.
Yeah, we got a lot of people going out there. So make sure you're heard and make this a home game for the Cowboys in a way, right? So as we move on to okay, so what's going on with this game, upcoming battle with this divisional foe? There's been a couple of roster moves, all right? And I call roster moves a practice squad elevation. Now, a lot of people were thinking, we're going to move up Damian Wilson at linebacker. We're going to move up Lel Collins. I've been telling you guys all week, that shit ain't happening. It might not happen to the second or third week of the playoffs if we get that far. So today the Cowboys elevated their last elevations of the regular season. Linebacker Buddy Johnson, who was elevated last week, and safety Sheldrick Redwine, who I think was elevated one other time. This is a second elevation, of course, back-to-back weeks for Buddy Johnson at linebacker. He had his Cowboy debut last weekend. And this is the second elevation for safety Sheldrick Redwine. So
keep that in mind.
You got to keep another thing in mind, that this elevations, 2 or 3, if you have 3, you can't play anymore. We talked about this with Malik Davis, running back. We talked about this with Malik Jefferson, linebacker, right? The elevation for practice squad, once you hit 3, you can't play anymore. For the playoffs, it all resets to 0. All right? And for the postseason. So you can elevate anyone.
Gets wiped clean.
Yeah, and you can basically elevate anybody you want the rest of the season, the rest of the playoffs if you keep going with it. So, again, maybe there's 3 elevations. That's basically to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So, we should be okay with all our practice squad guys to elevate them. We should be, opening up those elevations for guys like Malik Davis and Malik Jefferson. I know it's not Malik's, but Malik Jefferson at linebacker, Malik Davis at running back. To me, those are the more probable elevations in the playoffs. Yeah, it's not going to be Lel Collins and Donovan and Damian Wilson, at least not in the playoffs right away, in my opinion.
Yeah, and apparently there's only 2 or 3 prescribed names for the Dallas Cowboys, whether that's first or last name. So if you want your child to be a Dallas Cowboy, you better name them Tyron, Tyler, Malik, or make sure your last name is Smith or some shit.
Yeah, so again, I want to reiterate, Lel Collins, everyone thought he was going to be here playing. No. Good football shape and all that stuff. Acclimating still. Like McCarthy said, there's no way he's playing this week. And I don't think he'll be playing next week in the playoffs either as an elevated lineman. He's just a third stringer right now. Damian Wilson also, just onto the team here, former Cowboy, back. Both these guys are former Cowboys. But this is from the Cowboys front office. A source from the Cowboys said that neither guy were under consideration to be active, to be elevated and active for this game. Neither guy they were not even thinking about moving any of these 2 guys that we just signed onto the active team today or
which again
tomorrow's
makes
game.
Sense.
Yes, they said the reason was because they just joined the team. So that makes sense. Next week's padded practice, according to the inside source from the Cowboys, next week's padded practices is going to be the important work for both these guys to see if they can have a chance to even be elevated. Not to get on the 53, not to start. I see some people asking me, Lel Collins going to start? Fuck no. Never. He's not going to start this year. He's not going to start unless we get 3 injuries on the offensive line. Then he might have to start. So just keep that in mind. This is just break glass in case of emergency. I'll say it again, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it again. But that's the situation with those guys. So don't expect to see Damian Wilson or Lel Collins for playing for the Cowboys this year on the field for the playoffs. Expect them to be maybe having to be some extra, some special team stuff from Damian Wilson, something like this. If there's injuries, of course, maybe there's a little Lel Collins. Outside of that, it's maybe more for next year. It's maybe more to see if they're going to stick around and help provide some depth to this offensive line and linebacking core. That's
not
what we're
even
saying.
that, but honestly, if anything, to me, this is probably one of the few things that shows that the Cowboys are maybe a little bit serious about making sure they can make some kind of a playoff run, not because these moves themselves are somehow so impactful, but because they are hitting at positions that we probably might need an extra body or two, just for, again, 3 to 4 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Just in case.
Exactly.
Not to play. Then you're not going to see Damian Wilson at linebacker. You're not going to see La'el Collins out there at offensive line. You're not going to see La'el Collins as a special teams guy. Damian Wilson, you might see him as special teams if he gets elevated, like let's say, the divisional round.
Yeah.
You're not going to see these guys this week, next week. Again, I don't think any of these guys playing at all or elevated at all or suiting up at all for the Cowboys in a game, maybe until the divisional round. That's the earliest, if needed.
Exactly.
That's
no
all.
stone unturned.
Yeah.
And again,
this is
what I mean, though, within the realm of the Dallas Cowboys, right? Because unfortunately, we didn't go after, what's that guy that you really like?
Isaiah Buggs.
Buggs, there we go.
Who was picked up by the Chiefs. Yeah, that was a big miss for us. I'm just saying,
as much as I would have, that kind of move would have made me jump on the couch. That and La'el Collins would have been, in the sense of, again, we're hitting at 2 positions that we need, but one of those is a little bit more ready to go, a little bit more available right now, with Buggs, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's more about that same, we're targeting positions that desperately needed some depth.
Yeah.
Looking at things in a short-term type of way.
The Cowboys usually don't do that, but I will say this. That miss on Isaiah Buggs could bug the fuck out of us, because if Hankins ain't no guarantee he's going to be around for 4 straight games. So, making it to the Super Bowl or something like that. He's not going to be a guarantee that he'll be healthy enough to do that. So if he goes down, Mozzie Smith's going to do it, and our run defense becomes an issue, a major issue. Isaiah Buggs would have curtailed that in a big way. That's the reason. It's about, that's a true move you make to win, not La'el Collins to win.
I know, and the reality is, too, when you look at some of the more serious teams heading into the playoffs, whether it's AFC or NFC, they're very good at running. Yeah. Very good at running. So, anyway.
We need to stop. We need to stop, and that could be the problem if Hankins is not there. So
I'll roll it back to you, baby.
Yeah, let's roll it back. Because today the Cowboys did do their war. Okay, now, you want me to update you on practice? I can't say much about this, because practice, it's just a walkthrough. We don't really know what happened, but I'll tell you one thing that definitely happened. There were no downgrades.
Thank goodness.
There were no upgrades either.
Okay.
There was no reports that, Tyler Smith is going to play or Hankins is going to play.
Which we didn't really expect today anyway.
Well, again, I kind of was hoping we'd hear something about who got on the plane. It sounds like everybody got on the plane, which is great news even for Tyler Smith. There's no report of Tyler Smith staying back in Dallas. They went to Washington today. I posted a short on that. Mm-hmm. They're gone on the plane. American Airlines, they landed. They checked in. They're ready for tomorrow. So back to business, back to handling business in D.C. And, the most interesting thing out of this was what we saw in some of the pictures, and you guys have to check it out yourselves there, but I'll give you the inside scoop here. It's about our kicker. Really our kicker and our punter and our long snapper, special teams guys. They were wearing, yes, Brian Anger, our punter, Trent Zieg, our long snapper, and Brandon Aubrey, our kicker. All 3 of them were wearing a shirt that basically says Banger and Butter. Banger and Butter.
I like that.
Does that mean Banger and Butter? No. So Banger is for Brian Anger, right? Mm-hmm. And Butter, of course, like Dak had said, smooth like butter.
Yeah.
According to Dak, when it comes to Brandon Aubrey. So on the T-shirt, they have both guys, punting or kicking on the, on their T-shirt, and all 3 of the guys, all 3 special teams guys were sporting them. Of course, 2 out of the 3 got into the Pro Bowl there, as in Brian Anger and Brandon Aubrey. Trent Zieg, they pushed for him, but he couldn't get in there as the long snapper. After all this is said and done, people were looking for these shirts all over the internet, right? And there's a lot of places that are ripping off the print and trying to sell it on their own. And Wanye Thomas, number 30 for the Cowboys, stuck up for Brandon Aubrey and Brian Anger on their jersey, because he said, quote, "The real page for the Banger and Butter T-shirts is, again, NorwoodCustom.com." And there's a reason for this, because he's the guy that designed these jerseys, guys. It was
just pretty cool.
Wanye Thomas, a teammate, designed these, made these jerseys and this apparel, and put it up, to sell. And congrats to Wanye for doing this, a creative T-shirt, and also, the Brian Anger and Aubrey, they're sporting it with Trent Zieg, and getting a little backing there from Wanye Thomas when it comes to these T-shirts. But I really like this is real camaraderie here. I know Wanye Thomas plays special teams as well, so of course he knows these guys. But it's great to see offense and defense and special teams just all together now. That's what I like to see here for our Cowboys. So just a little inside info there on those jerseys. I mean, those T-shirts they were wearing on the plane today. So we talk about Brandon Aubrey. You know, here's a couple things to say here again this week. Not really from today, but more of this week about, you know, this upcoming final game of the regular season where he is a perfect 35 for 35 on field goals. And teammates, they're not really, you know, he's not really worried about superstition. Teammates not supposed to be tiptoeing around the topic, according to him.
Yeah, so basically, like,
he doesn't believe in jinxes and superstitions, Brandon Aubrey.
Exactly. So he's actually said the opposite. Like, hey, like, please, you know, come up to me, talk with me, mess with me, like, whatever it is, saying, quote, you set a goal for yourself, and the goal is 90%. Obviously, we're above that, but each individual game, I want to make all my kicks. When it comes down to each individual kick, it's just one at a time. Go out there with the same amount of pressure on each and every kick because you never want to miss one and let the team down. You never know when you're going to need that extra point you missed or the field goal you missed. It might come back to haunt you. Each and every kick, I would say, is monumental in a kicker's mind. So I don't think any one kick matters more than the rest. So
I agree with him on that. He treats them all the same. Probably why he's not missed any.
The kind of interesting thing, so there's only 2 other kickers in NFL history that have ever finished a season without missing a field goal specifically, while also having more than 25 attempps. So it's kind of easy to do it if you're not really kicking that many field goals, right? But if you're actually kicking field goals in once or twice pretty much every single game, then, you know, yeah, that makes a difference. So 2003 was the last one, Mike Vanderjagt. Yeah. Not sure what team he was playing with.
The Colts, but he played with the Cowboys actually a couple years after that for a year or two.
And then in 1998, Gary Anderson.
Yep.
Now,
missed the playoff field goal.
Both of these guys only had 1 and 2 50-plus yard field goal attempts, respectively. But, Brandon Aubrey has 9, including 58, 59, and 60. Yep. So,
he's made a much tougher one.
He's doing it in a very tough way.
Vanderjagt has 37 out of 37, and I think Gary Anderson had 35 out of 35 for the season, which is where Aubrey's out with 1 game to go, which, okay, he's getting a bonus game than the other guys did as well.
And Brian Anger and Aubrey both kind of mentioned that they were really hoping that all 3 of the special teams guys could have been, could have made it.
By the way, the holder is Brian Anger. You see him right there holding the ball, the punter.
Of course. So just throwing it out there. But of course, if Aubrey and Anger, basically the way they see it, it's like if I'm performing at an elite level and Aubrey's performing at an elite level, like so is
it's Trent Sieg, yeah.
Exactly.
That's a long snapper.
So, and Anger also mentioned that he kind of helped mentor Aubrey a little bit, saying, I'm not a superstitious guy. I think that holding on to things is more of a crutch than speaking about them. I try to speak about things. Trent gets mad at me sometimes saying, no, don't say that. Yeah. But I try to speak into existence, I guess. We've been talking about how cool his journey has been so far, and hopefully it'll continue.
Well, again, knock on wood, no jinxing going on.
It's kind of funny to see the slightly stitiousness.
They're not superstitious, but they have a lot of superstition on some of the guys that already don't have much superstition, which is the guy that needs not to be superstitious.
Exactly. So Rolando Rodriguez is asking, what about the weather? Because that can affect field goals. Is it going to snow? Is it going to rain? Like, what's going on?
Perfect.
So
on cue. I had
said that it was trending in a more positive direction than it had earlier in the week.
But let's start with what today looked like. Because today a lot of people started freaking out. People were like watching the Baltimore Raven game in Baltimore, which is close to where Washington is, right? Washington, D.C. is where Landover, Maryland is, where the Commanders play. And so a lot of people were thinking, wow, this awful weather. You saw it was a constant rainstorm there.
Really
cold and rainy.
Lots of fumbles and turnovers.
Yeah, sloppy game.
Slipping and sliding.
We know that this was something that could be looking like the Cowboy game tomorrow, right? Cold, chilly, rain, and just nonstop rain, mud slop. But a lot of people were thinking, what the weather is tomorrow. The pouring down on right now is going on in FedEx Field. Like the rain is soaking FedEx Field as we watch the Baltimore Ravens and the Steeler game. So FedEx Field is horrible. And we already talked about how bad the field is, how bad the plumbing is, how bad the fucking whole stadium is. But the turf is going to be waterlogged, it seems like. A lot of people are assuming this, right? And a lot of people believe that, this is going to, reports where it's going to be raining all weekend, including Sunday for the game, or at least on and off. If this is the case, it would be a horrible situation for the Cowboys. It would slow down our offense. Now, the way teams take care of their fields, and Rolando's right about kicking in wet, on wet fields, definitely make it a bit harder for someone like for Brandon Aubrey to be perfect this game. But the point is that the rain falling today, with the way NFL fields are taken care of, not by the team, but it's NFL rules. Like it's like they have their grounds
rules and regulations.
They're gonna squeegee that fucking field. They're gonna get most of the liquid off. And the great news is that towards the end of the game and towards the evening, into the evening, that was the earlier game.
Okay.
When the 8 o'clock game started for the night game started tonight for the Colts and Texans, the rain already stopped, at least for tonight.
Thank goodness.
And when I look at the weather, guys, and I did the work for you guys because Orlando put it on. I've been looking at the weather every day and seeing if it's clearing up. It has gotten clearer and clearer. The Sunday, again, tomorrow's low is actually going to be like 5 in the morning. Like in about 4 hours or 5 hours. It's going to be 33 degrees. So that's the chilliest it's going to get tomorrow. And it's all in the morning. Of course, as we get into the afternoon, the high will be about 48 degrees. Between like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It will be about 48 degrees. Not that cold, like for a early January kind of game,
right?
That's
what I said. I'm like, that's actually not that bad.
But we don't play at 1 or 2. We play at East Coast time. We play 4:30, 4:25. 4:25, it's going to be 46 degrees. So not much, it's going to be, it's going to be nice. Nice football weather. Now, what about the weather, though? The rest of the cold is not a big deal. What about the rain? It stopped raining today. Overnight, it continues to not rain. It's not going to rain overnight like it was supposed to. It was supposed to rain the whole day up until maybe the evening, like maybe 9 or towards the end of the game. But, guys, at kickoff, before kickoff, the whole day, it's going to be actually sun poking out between about 10 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning until about 3 in the afternoon. It's going to be partially cloudy. No rain. Chance of precipitation tomorrow, 0.0%.
That's about the best news we could have heard.
So that's great news. Squeegee that fucking field all day and all night. It won't rain. Keep it covered, but it will not rain. It's going to be chilly. It's going to be a little sunny. They are partially sunny, partially cloudy, I guess, in the afternoon. And then when the game starts, it's cloudy with a little moon out there, right? But it's going to be just a cloudy night. It's a partially cloudy night. It's not going to be any rain. And that is good for our offense. It's good for Brandon Aubrey and his kicking ability. No chance of rain tomorrow, at least at this exact moment. So that's great news for our game against the Ravens. Also, it stops any kind of weird injuries, slipping and sliding and pulling something, a hammy, or, all that shit can be avoided now. We don't have to worry about an extra worry. That worry's now
exactly. Like that worry's gone.
So I'm happy. Brandon Auburn's happy. The offense is happy. The defense is happy because they get to stay speedy and fast. Everyone in this Cowboy team is happy that the weather is going to look pretty good tomorrow for an early January game in D.C. with a thunderstorm, a snowstorm that was predicted and projected the whole weekend, and it kind of ended today. So in that sense, I guess we lucked out a little bit there, right?
Most definitely.
So that's good news there for our Cowboys. Now, as far as the battle back and forth with Washington, how are they going to do offense, defense? When you look at the Commanders' offense, all right, and what their ranks are. Let me see here. Scoring points. Washington scores 19.9 points a game. They're 23rd in the league, all right, at scoring points. Defensively, well, I'll say in a minute here. Jason Renfro, though, dropping that 5 on it.
Woo!
Keeping that first place lead overall. All his. What did he say with that $5 holler?
Got my popcorn ready? Because the Cowboys are going to put on a show. Let's go Cowboys, and let's start our way to 6 and beyond. So let's go Cowboys now.
Hell yeah.
And forever.
Now and forever. Never forget. Get that 6 and beyond. And rep that navy blue silver twin star for everything. So
thank you again, Jason. Appreciate you.
He dropped that 5 on it.
Dwayne Broussard's down to 79
points
on the board.
Trickling down. So Washington's offense, okay, they're scoring offense. They score about 19.9 points. You said it earlier. Yeah. Well, you don't want to see 20-point scores. So, but that's ranked 23rd in the NFL. They're 23rd in the NFL at scoring points on offense. Their total offensive ranks numbers, they get a total of 321 total yards per game. That's 21st in the NFL. Horrible. Now, rushing offense, I thought Washington was better at running. They're actually not. That was my fault. I've been saying that kind of a couple days this week. They're actually better at throwing. Running the ball, they're averaging only 96.4 yards per game. That is 24th in the NFL. Passing, they throw for 224.7 yards per game, which is 18th in the NFL. I mean, that is literally their best rank across the board here. The best thing they do is throw the ball. They just throw a lot because they're always down. They throw a lot because Howell is a gunslinger. And, so again, we don't mind that necessarily. Now, when you look at our side of things, how much do we allow against us? On average, not much, guys. The Cowboy defense allows only 19.1 points a game, which, again, they only get about 19.9, so it should be around 19, 20 points at most for Washington, which the Cowboys rank 5th in allowing points against our defense. When it comes to our total defensive numbers, we allow 307 yards per game. That is 8th best in the NFL. Our rushing defense, which is not great, obviously, we rank 20th in run defense. We allow 116.3 yards per game, and our passing defense is one of the top 5, of course. We are 5th, 190.9 yards per game allowed passing. So we should really keep this Washington team at 200 yards passing, at maybe 90 yards, 100 yards rushing. It should not be a great game for this team in any single way, and especially if they have backups and a lot of guys injured, which they do. Come on. This has got to be a Cowboy blowout, especially when you look at our defense versus their offense. Flip it around, and we look at how our Texas Coast will do against their defense, which is, again, also hindered very badly. The Cowboys score 29.4 points per game. That is 3rd best in the NFL. Our total offensive rank, we have a total, throwing, running, everything combined on offense, 367.3 yards a game. That is 6th best in the NFL. We run for 111.8 yards a game. That is 14th best in the NFL. Not great, but a little above average running the ball. Passing the ball, 255.4 yards, 255.5 yards per game. That is 4th best in the NFL. And then you look at Washington, and they allow 30 points a game. That is 32nd out of 32 teams in the NFL. That is the worst at stopping points scored on their defense. When you look at their defensive ranks and numbers, they allow 385 yards per game. That is 32nd in the NFL, the worst in the NFL in a total defensive rank. Rushing defense for them, they allow 126.5 yards per game. That is 25th in the NFL. By the way, that is their best defensive rank, 25th in rushing, stopping the run. Pass defense, they're 31st. They allow 260 yards a game. So yes, June the Ace. June the Ace is now part of the family here in MCF. Welcome in, and thank you for subscribing to the channel.
We're summing it up.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, we're past 29,000. We're at less than 1,000. We're less than 1,000 away from 30K. On the road to 30.
Never in a million years.
Never in a million years. That's right. So, guys, again, you're seeing these numbers. I mean, their best defensive rank is stopping the run, and they're 25th in the league. That's stopping. They allow 126.5 yards a game, stopping the run on defense, and everything else is worse than that. On offense, their best thing is throwing the ball. They throw for 225 yards a game. That is 18th best. That's still below average. And that's usually because they're desperate and they got to throw. So, guys, I'm laying out these stats for you guys so we can all understand what's going on here. This team, even when they have their starters in, fucking blue chunks. They suck.
So, again, not saying that we somehow can't lose to this team, just saying that we would have to try monumentally hard to actively do so.
We have to want to lose this game, I think, to lose this fucking team. So there's no freaking way that I expect our Cowboys. I don't care. Listen, we just got to win to win. And I'll say this. If we sneak out a last-second field goal win or some shit like this, or they miss a field goal in the last second, I'm not going to be happy about this team in the playoffs going forward. But at least I'll be happy we're going to get 2 home games at most. We should get at least 2 home games if we win our first game. So that part does change things for me. Even though I'll be very disappointed with this team if we somehow let them hang around, keep our starters in, get a guy injured here in the 3rd or 4th quarter that didn't have to be in there, if we just start off a little stronger in games. That's the key to this game, is starting off strong, starting off without mistakes, and just getting some points early so we can start to kind of really lean on them and put them to sleep early, if you know what I mean.
I don't disagree.
So now, when it comes to our team here, baby, and the coaches, we just talked about Dan Quinn, Schottenheimer, and Bones earlier this week, are top coordinators by the players themselves in the NFL, ranking them. They're the top 5, and no other team has top 5 coordinators in all 3 levels there, in special teams, defense, and offense. So, all these guys might be dispersing all over the NFL at the same time. What about Mike McCarthy? Well, again, we know if he wins this game in another 3rd year in a row with 12 wins. That's amazing. Third year in a row, of course, making the playoffs.
Very successful for
Very successful for 3 out of 5 years, especially the first year with COVID. I'm just saying, like, we have been very successful under Mike McCarthy. But a lot of sources around the NFL right now, this is per Adam Scheffler and Ian Rappaport, they're saying that they believe that Mike McCarthy's future in Dallas will depend on how the Cowboys perform in the playoffs. And I have to agree with that. There's only so much we can take of failing in the playoffs.
It, but to hear it confirmed as kind of an official NFL rumor, so to speak, when we've only kind of talked about it internally within our little Cowboy fandom here, yeah, I think it carries a little bit of weight to it.
Now, it's not going to happen just to happen. No. We have to have an embarrassing loss because of McCarthy's fumbling, bumbling, play-calling bullshit.
I was going to say, specifically, I believe it has to be the offense that somehow fails us and our offensive scheme.
Yeah, or McCarthy not challenging something like he should, like he did against the Bills, didn't challenge it. You know, his gut didn't work too much there, and that's on McCarthy. And some other stuff can fall on McCarthy.
Management is somehow the reason that we end up bungling something too.
You don't throw the ball when the Lions have one timeout left and you throw a fucking bomb. I know it was maybe Dak's choice. You're McCarthy. You say, Dak, no matter what you do not throw. Take a sack, but don't fucking do that. And that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, McCarthy has to do a better job making sure everyone's on the same page of what the situation is. Even if Dak should know, the coach needs to go through everything and say, hey, remind everybody this is the situation. Understand what we're doing here. So McCarthy needs to be on top of that shit, in my opinion. Now, what about discipline? Because as you know, we all know, one of the biggest issues all year long for us, all lifelong, being Cowboy fans, are the referees. And we did a ref check yesterday, right? Sean Smith is our guy there. Throws the most penalties in the league and all that stuff, usually against the home team, which is Washington, although it may feel like it's a Cowboy home game. When you look at Mike McCarthy and penalties, from 2010 to 2018, when you look at the total penalty yards from those years, and that whole segment of 9 years, McCarthy had 7,000. I think penalty yards, 7,166 penalty yards in those 9 years. That is the third best in that span in the NFL. That's not that many. I mean, it's a lot of yards, 7,000 yards, but that's over a 9-year span of penalties, right? In that span of the McCarthy's watch in Green Bay, 7,166 penalties. Total penalty yards from 2020 to 2021 with the Cowboys. McCarthy, 1,908 yards allowed in just a year, basically.
Damn.
That's 31st in the NFL. 31st in the NFL. That's with the Packers, disciplined team, not many penalties, not a lot of costly penalties. But Dallas, especially McCarthy's first year and a half, 2 years, a tremendous fuck up. A tremendous lack of discipline. You've seen some of that still peaking up. So I don't know. Is it McCarthy? Is it the star on the helmet? We've talked about this in the past. It seems that maybe it's a combination of, is it the players?
Look,
it's probably a combination of all three things.
Even if you adjust for that kind of Cowboy differential, still way too many penalties.
Yeah. And too much lack of discipline. I agree. So when you look at this there, we're really getting to rolling this out real quick tonight, guys. It definitely should have been maybe more of a Cowboy quickie tonight. But either way, again, I want to remind everybody, we have our final areas here are going to be kind of a couple of bold predictions, your guys' thoughts, and of course score predictions. We'll chit-chat a little bit, but we're almost at the end of this thing. I do want to make one last thing before we get to the bold predictions, though. I want to make one other comment here, and it's about Dak Prescott. We just saw, of course, Lamar Jackson not play for the Ravens, and he's sat out this game here because they already have the number one seed. There's no need to play him, especially in a rainstorm, monsoon, in the cold. But Dak Prescott, guys, when you look at the MVP voting, and I really don't care much about that, but we have to mention it because Dak's having a good year, right?
Yeah.
Some voters are considering voting for Lamar Jackson as MVP, but not as a first-team All-Pro quarterback. What does that mean? If you look at the history of it, it should not be split up. It should be, if he's going to be MVP, he should be first-team All-Pro, right?
I agree.
The All-Pro team actually carries a lot more weight when it comes to the Hall of Fame. You could get MVP. That won't matter as much as being an All-Pro.
Still feels very petty.
Yeah, I know.
No offense. But you can't get one without the other.
But let's look at this happened in 2011. That's why it's like, that's kind of weird. But it happens in the past. It happened in other years as well. But just look at this for a second here, guys. Because both teams, the Cowboys and the Ravens, are averaging 29 points per game. All right? Mm-hmm. We know Lamar Jackson's team as far as, you can say, just this is a team in whole, right? Let's just say they're better as a team on offense.
They are.
Defense is ranked better than us, right? So Lamar Jackson has a better defense, has a better overall team. They're scoring the same amount of points as Dak Prescott. So why is Lamar Jackson over Dak Prescott? Let's look at the stats. Dak Prescott, 4,237 passing yards. That's 4th in the NFL. Lamar Jackson throws for 3,678 yards. That's 14th in the NFL.
All right.
Dak has thrown for 32 touchdowns. That's number 1. Lamar Jackson thrown for 24 touchdowns. That's tied for 10th. Now, Dak has 8 interceptions this year. That's tied for 87th. Lamar Jackson has 7 interceptions. That's tied for 82nd.
Okay, so he technically has one less.
Yeah.
Okay.
The QBR. Dak has a 70.5 QBR. That is second best in the NFL. Lamar Jackson has a 65.3 QBR. That is 4th best in the NFL.
I was saying neither one of those is anything to sneeze at. Those are both
fantastic. Yeah, and then the quarterback. I'm sorry. What do I say? This is the P rate. But I guess that's more of the passer rating. Yeah, passer rating. 104.2 for Dak, and Lamar Jackson 102.7. So, if anything, Dak is slightly better in pretty much every category, but interceptions where Dak's throwing one more than Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson's team is better, the defense is better. So why is Dak not considered a little bit more in front? I will tell you, it's probably
he's done more with less.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. The only difference we're not saying here is, of course, Lamar Jackson's rushing yardage. I don't know running backs counted as MVPs as much, but I think he's definitely the leading rusher for the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. And, the only guy comparable to him in the history of probably quarterbacks that do this is Michael Vick. So that's the reason why I think Lamar Jackson has the inside track. But, if Dak had the inside track, they say, well, Dak's got the better team and he's got the better defense. We've heard those narratives before about Dak, right? So, Lamar Jackson has his narratives too. He runs the ball. He's not really where's Frame Rippers? He's not really a quarterback, but hey, he can throw, he can run. He's multifaceted. You got to give him credit. They have a good team as well. Some people say better receivers than the Cowboys have, as a whole group. But in the end, I don't really give a fuck. I just bring it up just because, you know what? I'm showing you guys, it's all just subjective. Whoever votes, it's their opinions. It's not really that big of a deal when it's this close. And you know what? When you hear my bold predictions, maybe there is a chance Dak wins the MVP. Just saying. Let's see what happens. Because Lamar Jackson didn't play today. He sat out. So he couldn't show anything. Dak has to play tomorrow. How will he do? We're going to talk about it. Baby, before we keep going with my bold predictions, we leave this with Dak. Because I'm going to leave Dak up there. Because Dak is part of my bold prediction here. But let's also shout out those that rep the board here.
Of course.
Because we're almost at the end of the
stream. An extra special shout out to the man, Jason Renfro. Not just the sponsor of the week, but the membership gifting king.
Yes.
I appreciate you, of course, Jason. And
Much
if you
love.
look up above, Dwayne Broussard, the top dog, is the stream boss with 78 points.
Little Terrence Steele style.
Shout out to you, and of course, you know why he's here. SnugX, your Cash App king.
Hell yeah. Appreciate you guys.
2 weeks in a row, right?
Back to back, like our 90s Cowboys. The leader on the Cash App side this week, like 4 different names came up, and now a 5th one. Boom. The man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. He's currently the leader.
Thank you, Skeptical.
A little bit above Jason Renfro. A little bit above Stanley Smith for the top. Those are the top 3 on the board there on the Cash App side, but Skeptical fan in the lead. Skeptical fan is 3rd place on the overall board as well. And in front of him is JD from DC in 2nd place overall, but he's 1st place on the gifting board. Jason's 2nd, and Skeptical is 3rd over there with Bootzilla. But, yeah, I mean, right now, Skeptical fan, Jason Renf, these guys are running the boards right now. But again, JD from DC also running the boards up there with the 2nd place overall. 2nd most raffle entries currently for JD from DC, and the leader on the membership gifting board. Like I said, overall, Jason's got the lead on the overall board and 2nd on the Cash App board. It's a lot of the same names, a lot of battles going down right now. And of course, one of the biggest battles going to come, not just our playoff game, the wild card playoff game, but in that wild card playoff game, about halftime, there's going to be another battle going down, and we're going to be congratulating 4 people from the family who are in this upcoming raffle.
Thank you to the man, the Lunatic, making it happen. But yes, guys, if you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered, and those entries do stack. Every additional $10 is an additional bonus entry. If you are in the membership, it has its perks. You get a bonus entry on top of that as well. So 4 lucky people will be winning, their choice of jersey. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a Cowboy jersey, but we will highly, highly encourage you.
Yeah, it's sewn and stitched. You guys know it. First, second, third, and fourth place, they're all first place. 4 different people win 4 jerseys, different jerseys, one each. And they will choose which player they want of the ones we have available. Randy White, Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett. You got Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, and others. And, of course, you got Dez and Tony Romo. You can throw in there, too. And, of course, Witten. But then, of course, you got the guys right now here. A whole lot of them, a whole slew of them. So, new or old, you get a lot of choices from the Cowboys. A lot more choices than other teams. If you are somebody like Traveling Fools, right? And you are in the raffle, you're a Dolphin fan. It's probably like Dan Marino and like Tua or something. So, again, a lot more choices with the Cowboys. But, yeah, a jersey's a jersey, sewn and stitched, authentic, like the whole thing. 4 of these jerseys are being won by 4 different family members here on MCF. Halftime of our wild card game. And I don't know who the team is going to play yet. Is it the Rams, the Packers? Those are the most probable ones. I don't care who they are. We're going to kick some ass at home. That's what's important. And we're going to see 4 winners on our board here kick some ass and win one of these fantastic, beautiful jerseys. We own like 35, 40 of these jerseys. Everybody who's won the jerseys, they love them. Trust me, guys. It is a great
addition for any Cowboy fan.
And fantastic to wear like we do here for the game days, if wherever. It's great. It's so fantastic stuff there at Cowboys Mosh. An extra special thanks to the man, the Godfather, the Lunatic here at MyCowboysFamily. $10 per entry, unlimited raffle entry. You can keep stacking them. And you get that bonus entry if you're in any level of the membership, Navy, Blue, Silver, Star, or over everything. And also, by the way, baby, there's some changes going on right now on our board.
Oh.
Because Stanley Smith dropped a $20 holler, adding 2 more raffle entries to the board. And guess what else, baby?
What else?
Jumping over Jason Renfro. Jumping over Skeptical Fan, being the leader right now on that app of cash. The cash app leader. Try to get that crown from Mr. Snug X. Stanley Smith is right now standing in front of the pack and adding to his raffle entries here. So, appreciate you, Stanley Smith. Much love. He said, "Go Cowboys."
Always go Cowboys.
I got to update the board too, baby. So hit up a couple comments, and we'll get into our bold predictions and score predictions as we wrap this up here on MyCowboysFamily for tonight.
So question, if someone gives someone a membership, do both get in the raffle or just
just the gifter?
Yeah, just the gifter,
the person getting it is the person getting it is getting a bonus right there just on getting in the membership.
You asked me to hit up the chat, and then you
I was answering the
question. Take it over. It's all good, but the cool thing about winning one of the memberships, though, is let's say you win a membership, you drop $10. Guess what? You get the bonus entry without having to necessarily join the membership yourself.
If you put in a 10,
that's what I just said.
You get that bonus entry here. So
please, Mr. MCF.
Yeah, I always like to verify for you. Jason Renfro dropping a $2 J-Lou holler in the house. He keeps his overall lead, in high demand there in first place over JD from DC and Skeptical and Mark and others. What did Jason Renfro say with that $2 drop?
Mike McCarthy can throw the flag in Green Bay, but not as our coach here.
I'm telling you, there he was really quick on the trigger, right? But here his gut tells him to wait.
We got to consult with the committee. Look, on one hand, it's hard to get mad for a coach following the processes or doing the right thing or whatever. But like I said, in that split-second moment, even just before the team lined up, I was already screaming at my TV because all the options had been weighed out in those basically 5 seconds it took. He should have thrown the flag, but again, hindsight's 2020. Hopefully that is one of those coaching things that he focuses on and learns from because, we kind of said it. If he is if the biggest significant factor in our loss in the postseason, bye McCarthy.
Then if it's on him,
bye McCarthy.
He's bye.
Yep.
Forever. I don't care if he got 3 12-win seasons. He fucks it up because he's bumbling around and making bad decisions. McCarthy's out the door, and then at least we save it with Dan Quinn.
Yeah, and Mr. Stewart, peace and blessings to you as well.
Yes, Mr. Stanley Stewart in the house. Appreciate you, and go Cowboys.
So Asmodeus also pointed out something very interesting. The thing is, Lamar Jackson defeated the Niners. Dak Prescott did not.
Again, it was the team. the team. Not no, but I didn't mean
when we're talking about their individual stats or how you measure some of their stats. You know,
I mean, they went out there and crushed the Ravens. I mean, the Ravens went there and crushed. I say the Ravens, not Lamar Jackson, but the Ravens crushed the Niners, and the next week they crush the Dolphins. That's the reason why. It's not just the Niners; it's the fact that they crushed everybody. All the good teams they crushed. The only thing that
really bothers me is that let's say in a different alternate timeline, Dak Prescott was still using his legs the way that he used to back in his earlier years. If Dak was mixing in some of those types of runs, you know, with this kind of high-powered offense that he's been sporting this year, I think that they would discount Dak's running in a way that they don't for Lamar Jackson. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you kind of alluded
to it earlier. It's called moving the goalposts.
Yeah. Exactly. You kind of alluded to it earlier with one of the things you said. But that's my personal belief. So Dak's runs, even if he were contributing the same amount that Lamar Jackson would be in a similar way, because look at their stats. They're very, very close.
I mean, Dak's killing him on the passing side of things. But Lamar Jackson's killing him, of course, on the rushing side, which he's killing every quarterback on the rushing side.
Exactly. So, and again, the whole point is that that's not exactly something that quarterbacks are normally out there doing. Yeah. So,
I don't care about MVP. I care about Super Bowl. Super Bowl win, that's 6 is what matters to me. Speaking of 6, take it down when we're at right now. And Marco Seppian dropped that 5 on it.
Woo!
Put the $5 holler mark. By the way, Marco Seppian on the top of this board. Still didn't jump anyone yet because Skeptical had some drops pre-stream. But he's about 10 back on Skeptical. More importantly, he's 3 away from another raffle entry from Marco Seppian. What did the man say with the 5 on it? Taking Dwayne down to 71. I would say La'el Collins, but actually Chuma Edoga points.
Strength of schedule, Dallas 9, Baltimore 17. As a total player, his legs really propel him and scare guys. Harder teams, better records, comparable arm, but he has legs.
Right. And I'm agree 100% with Mark on that. Strength of the harder teams, they've beaten the harder teams, unlike the Eagles and everybody else in the league, right? Nobody else has done what the Ravens have done, including the Niners.
But I think, if anything, maybe it really just highlights exactly what you said, though. One heck of a team win, because people don't want to give Lamar Jackson all the props, right? They only want to give him the MVP. They don't want to give him the All-Pro
vote, because they see him as a remarkable player overall. That's what most valuable to his team, but then they see him not as maybe the best quarterback in the league. You know what I mean? That's the way it's kind of being seen from some of the that's
the only way you can take that, personally. So
I hear you, Mark, and I agree pretty much everything he's saying there. I mean, the strength of schedule, of course, it's not Lamar Jackson versus the San Francisco 49ers. It's the Ravens.
The Baltimore Lamars.
Yeah, it's the Ravens versus the Niners. If the Ravens defense played better than our Cowboy defense against the Niners and then against the Dolphins. So the defense for the Ravens are superb in a way that we're not as consistent in on defense.
Yep.
Dak passes better. It's better than Lamar Jackson throwing the ball, but running the ball is no comparison to anybody in the league. Everything else is about the same when it comes to throwing with both these guys. So either way, look, I'm reiterating, I don't really give a shit. All I know is that Dak's in the top 5 quarterback this year. I don't care about any other numbers. No, even the quarterbacks that have easy schedules, they don't get top 5 in the MVP, top 3 in the MVP. Even if they play a whole slew of 1-win teams, they get put in the MVP race. And as Dak is as well. And he's not playing just the easy teams. Like I said, at home we beat 3. Actually, we beat 4. Didn't we beat 4 good teams at home?
Yeah. You know what's better than regular season MVP? Super Bowl MVP.
That's the MVP I want to see the Cowboys win.
I'll leave
that's
that
what I want
to
see.
Stand for itself.
But I don't want to take this picture off as well. Much love again to the Lunatic. Our wild card weekend raffle, 4 jersey raffles, $10 per entry. You can stack them. Membership gets you an extra raffle entry. Hey, you get stacked. You just up your chances. No guarantees, but you up your chances to win something there. Now, I'm going to also kind of bring it back here for a minute when it comes to Dak Prescott and what I want to see from him in this game. What I expect to see from him in this game. Bold prediction time. And I'm going to start it, baby, with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in this game. It's not, of course, only on him if his receivers don't catch, if they're slipping, if there's, this could be a million fucking issues. If Dak is out there, the head on the shoulders, and he's doing his I'd say, 8 out of it, I don't know, I'm trying to think of all the games he's kind of put on his shoulders or kind of taken over, 8 games and 9 games, 10 games, where he's had to do, a lot of stuff out there. When I look at our schedule, All right here. Again, when we looked at this, through the first half of the season, we're like, okay, we're just getting a lot of easy wins, right? But my thing is this, and it stays this way. On the road, all right, we good teams like the Niners we lost to. We barely lost to the Eagles on the road, all right? We played poorly against Buffalo, got our asses handed to us. We gave the game away against the Dolphins on the road. Those are 4 tough games on the road, and we didn't win any of those 4, right? Of course, we beat the Chargers on the road, blah, whatever. But when you look at our home teams, the home games that we've had, that to me is the key over the opponent's weaknesses or strengths. Because when I look at the Rams, who's obviously they might not make the play. They did clinch the playoffs, didn't they? The Rams, I think they clinched the playoffs. And then I'm playing their starters this week. So against the Niners tomorrow. But the Rams, who are clinched in the playoffs, have above 500 record this year. We thrashed them. We were there for that game. The other home game against a playoff-type team is the Seattle Seahawks, who are right in the hunt right now, trying to get in the playoffs, trying to sneak in there. The Eagles, of course, clinched. And you see, of course, we handled them a 20-point win against them. And the Lions, we snuck out of there with a win, but we won. At home, we blew out 2 good teams, like the Rams and the Eagles. 2 playoff-type teams. We fought back and came back and beat the Seattle Seahawks after we were down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter. That's what you get at home that you don't get on the road. And, of course, the Detroit Lions, that was a lot of mistakes going on. Refs missing tripping calls that would have won the game for us, so we still overcame that. The Lions playing silly and stupid, and they cost them getting too tricky. So what I'm trying to say is either way, though, we beat another good team there. The Lions obviously are a good team. So out of our, we have 9 home games this year. Yeah, out of our 9 home games, 4 of them were against tough teams that we won. And the other 5, we destroyed them. So the key to this season remains the same, in my opinion. You could play a bad team on the road against Washington. We might look worse against them. Then next week, if we win that game against Washington, we might play against Green Bay. We should thrash them. Or the Rams. We might thrash them a lot worse than we looked this week against the Washington Commanders. Because on the road and away, on the road and at home, it's like we have 2 different game plans, 2 different coaches, 2 different teams. And so that, to me, is one of the scariest things. So to me, this game, I know maybe you said that you want the, this game is more of a confidence builder, kind of winning on the road. It could help some as well, as I guess. Winning this game, we don't have to worry about the road as much. So to me, I think Dak is going to have a good game to end this thing quick. You want us to get our guys out and not have any.
I had said it several times throughout the week, and I said it several times just tonight. I want to end this game by halftime. So you're right. The only way to do that is by doing just that, right?
Throwing the ball a lot. Not running, and extending the game. Oh, now it's 17-3 at halftime. We got to keep our starters in there another quarter and a half or so, right? So, that's the stuff we want to make sure we stay away from. We want to keep away from playing with fire when it comes to that. So, to me, it's about throwing the ball. To me, it's about Dak Prescott getting out there against a defense. Pass defense is one of the worst in the league. So, if McCarthy comes out there and says, let's start running, well, McCarthy's making a mistake. If we go out there and start passing, Dak's missing his guys, now that's on Dak. So, to me, I think, my bold prediction, is this bold? I don't know. On the road, I guess, against a shitty defense, there's pros and cons there.
For our Cowboys, anything's bold, isn't it?
I guess. Dak, I think he's going to combine to score 4 touchdowns tomorrow.
Okay.
I do think he'll get 4. If again, this is a bold prediction, no guarantees here, but based on everything we discussed this week, the way that our offensive line really has to hold things down on the interior against Deron Payne, that's the biggest thing there. We get that done, the secondary should open up for all of our receivers. Of course, CeeDee Lamb, number 1, but everyone should be finding holes and getting open, and Dak should be just gotta throw the passes like you've been doing in about 3/4 of your games. You're doing great in your passing, Dak. Just keep that flow going in this game, because I think that he can get maybe 3 touchdown passes, and you might see him run one in for Dak Prescott on a quarterback option keeper there. When you look at the 2023 Commanders defense, they've been horrific. They've given up the most yards. They've given up the most points per game in the entire league, and they have not given up less than 27 points in a game since Week 9. So since Week 9, basically half the season, since the last 9 games or 8 games, they've been giving up at least 27 points or more per game. So there's no way the Cowboys should score anything under 30 shit, by halftime, he should be at 30, honestly. But this team gives up 27 or more points a game every week since week 9. The Commanders' defense also leads the league in touchdown passes allowed. 35 touchdown passes allowed. Dak has 32, which is number 1. They're number 32 at stopping the touchdown pass, right? And the Commanders are in the bottom 3 in net yards per average and passing yards allowed. So they allow the yardage. They allow touchdowns through the air. They allow passing yards through the air. They allow points scored. Do I have to say much more here? Dak is the key here for our offense to get going. As long as he's on and the scheme is right, the players ain't dropping passes and running the right routes, this should be a field day for the Cowboy offense. And so I don't think it's even that big of a bold prediction. 4 touchdowns from Dak. The bold prediction is probably in like a 2.5 quarters. I see Dak putting up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
In recent years, though, one thing the Commanders' defense always does well at was getting after the quarterback. So, again, this year...
Protect Dak.
This year, though, they've not done that. That's one of their biggest weaknesses, is not being able to get the... They give away Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Chase Young to the Niners, Montez Sweat to the Bears. So, to me, that is like half of their defensive line. Their stellar defensive line is gone. So now Jonathan Allen's gone, too. That's 3 out of their 4. Gone. So Daron Payne's the last guy left, and we should be able to slow him down. So they have not done very well going after the quarterback. They only have 39 sacks for the season, Washington. That is tied for the 4th worst in the NFL, the 4th fewest. And like I said, trading away Chase Young and Montez Sweat, their pass rushing core has been, the lack of pass rushing has been alarming for Washington. Again, the Commanders have recorded only 3 sacks in their last 5 games. And all 3 came in that Week 15 matchup against the Rams.
Okay,
so two
it
games, no sacks, and 1 game 3 in the last 5 games. Sorry, 4 games with no sacks. 1 game with 3. That's all they had in the last 5 games. That is pitiful. And maybe the offensive line for the Rams has really suck. We should not give up any sacks according to these numbers, if you're looking at this right. So Dak not taking sacks. They don't have a pass rush really coming. They have one of the worst pass defenses in the league, without question. 4 out of Washington's last 5 opponents have gone through their matchup with Washington without allowing a single sack. Only that, like I said, only that 1 game against the Rams was it allowed. Now that goes over there. What are you doing with that? The food, little G. He was going to throw away the yeah. So, anyways, sorry guys, it was little G was almost throwing away fresh food. So, anyways, the Cowboy offense, when you look at you look at these other teams that Washington played against, their last 5 opponents, who again, the Rams allowed 3. The Washington Commanders got 3 sacks on the Rams. The other 4 games they got 0 sacks. So those teams against in the last 5 weeks averaged 36 points per game over those 4 games. The Cowboy offense, again with Dak in the passing game, will have a field day against this dreadful defense / secondary. It's not just a secondary. They don't get pass rush either. They don't get sacks. They don't force turnovers. They allow points. They allow passing touchdowns. They allow passing yards. They're below average at stopping the run. So to me, Dak Prescott scoring 4 total touchdowns, and again, is that in the pass? Maybe he gets 3 passing, 1 running. But 4 total touchdowns to me is a way of him, I guess you could say, I know Mark's going to love this, but he pads his statistics. On an MVP,
everybody's favorite.
On an MVP caliber season, though. I mean, this just puts the cherry on top on an MVP type. If you don't win it, it kind of puts the cherry on top for the MVP type season. Then now people can see, okay, Dak can do this. Like I don't care if he played bad teams, and he didn't just play bad teams, as I show here on the schedule. Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys, are rolling with this offensive scheme in a real way. And now they got to make it the real, like the realist by doing this in the playoffs, right? So in this game, which is kind of a hybrid little playoff game, in my opinion, to get that 2nd seed or the 5th seed, Dak's going to get fine success in the air. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to get a ton of yards. I think that all that's going to happen in the first 2 quarters and maybe half of the third, or maybe as much as a whole 3rd quarter at most. And then we shouldn't see anymore. I see 4 touchdowns for Dak in 3 quarters. That's what I'm seeing. So that's one of my One of my bold predictions. Anything that you have? Maybe I'll go back and forth. I have a couple more bold predictions. I don't know if you want to throw one out there.
As far as bold predictions, I do think that we're knocking closer to 40 than 30.
Points?
Offensively, yes. But I actually think that this is going to be a great game for our defense. I see Deron Bland getting his final pick of the regular season in this game. Just throwing that out there.
So that would make it 9.
I'm just saying, yeah, but it's been some time since we've seen him, get some action there. So I do think he finishes off the season with a nice little bow on top of that.
No pick 6, though, you're saying here, no?
That's what I just said.
Oh, a pick 6 or just an interception?
I said pick 6.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I know, it just, you're having some
problems. The dog's all over me right now, so I'm sorry.
Listening to me here tonight.
Well, because the dog is all over my love, so you had to repeat it again like I usually do. So,
Sure.
Yeah, so again... So you're saying a pick 6 from Deron Bland? Ooh, that is a bold prediction. Oh, that your big? That's yours? Because I actually was gonna kind of work off of that bold prediction.
Go ahead.
If that's the end of your bold prediction, I'm making sure.
I mean, you kind of took one or two of mine from me already, so all good. But yeah, Deron Bland is the biggest one.
I don't know. I said one thing, Dak Prescott, baby. All right.
I mean, that one, yeah.
So here you go. See?
All good.
I just talked about the offense, my love. You talking about the defense. That's completely different.
I do want to shout out here Marco Seppian with the $5
Oh,
holler.
I didn't see it come up. Oh, there it is, right there.
See, I'm Nostradamus. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate you. He said, Mr. MCF, you know how I know you are a great host? You have stretched out this game prediction to a T. I would have simply said Washington sucks dick, period.
Well, that is the consensus
Washington
here.
Sucks dick. Let me count the ways.
They do
Basically,
suck.
MCF stream in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, they do suck. That is no question. That there's no way we should lose this game. It's pretty much a set rule there. But you got to go through all the different possibilities. If for some reason there's a breakdown inside on that offensive line, now we're going to struggle. If for some reason they just run, and we can't stop the run, we're going to struggle. So there's ways teams could make the game closer, can make it a bigger battle, so to speak. A more scary situation for the Cowboys. I don't want to go through any of that shit. I just want the Cowboys to put the Washington Commanders out of their misery as early as possible. Score as often as possible. And by the third quarter, this should be backups in there for Washington and probably for us after a drive or two at most.
By the way, real quick, Rolando Rodriguez wants to know, what uniforms are we going to wear?
Navy Blues.
He's like, I don't like the blue jerseys.
Yeah, I actually said it earlier this week, but I'm just saying we have the Navy Blues already picked out for this one. Washington picks their white jersey. As you can see by all my pictures, and if you look at all my thumbnails right here, you'll see me always putting the Cowboys in the navies, and you're seeing always the Washington Commanders in their home whites. I guess they're really their road whites. But they like to put us in our Navy Blues. Either way, we're going to go Navy Blue. We're going to win with our Navy Blues. It don't matter. Dak's focused. Micah's ready. And, that's part of what the trip to Washington, D.C. is 90% of the time we're wearing our Navy Blues. They usually make us do that, although Deron Bland here is in white. So, again, your bold prediction is a pick 6.
And overall, just a stronger defense. Not that the offense is going to somehow not perform well, just that our defense is going to have one of those real lights out type of games,
like a snowball effect kind of situation.
Lots of stats, lots of sacks, lots of pretty much everything that you could possibly want from our defense, which of course will be the complementary football to that. I wanted it, at first I wanted to say bold prediction, we're going to see something cute on special teams, but then I kind of rolled it back just because if we were going to do something and we haven't done it all season, why would we do it now?
Well, I know. I was going to throw in there that, Turpin runs it back. I mean, at this point, we're just guessing. Every week we're saying Turpin runs it back, right?
But that's what I'm saying. It's not even that. Just like a purposely planned, special teams shenanigans type of play. I don't see it happening. Like I said, if it was going to happen or we were going to pull it out, we would have pulled it out during one of these tougher, closer type of games, right? Not now, not here. At this point, we might as well save it for the playoffs. That was kind of my mindset there for a second.
Yeah.
So,
that kind of brings me to kind of the other prediction. I kind of a couple of little comments because you said about Deron Bland. Truly, your bold prediction is the pick 6. That is a bold prediction with him not having a pick 6. Last time he had a pick 6. Thanksgiving against Washington against Sam Howell. So this would be a nice little bookending.
I actually didn't know that. So maybe Washington would be a nice little bookending.
I mean, they're going to be trying to throw the ball, assuming they don't pull any kind of quick because I believe they still somehow, in my mind, I'm thinking Jacoby Brissett's going to start tomorrow. In my mind. But Sam Howell plays, he's going to be throwing some gunslinging style. And that kind of leads me to my next bold prediction for the Cowboys. The Cowboys will and should intercept Sam Howell at least 2 times. I'm saying maybe 3 times for the bold prediction in this game. And right now, he's thrown for 20 touchdown passes, 3,793 passing yards. That's actually more than Lamar Jackson. But he's been very reckless with the football, Sam Howell. All right, this is his first season as a starter. I mean, I could throw up the commie offensive kind of look here with Deron Bland in the middle here. But Sam Howell, number 14, is going to have to avoid our pass rush. He's going to be pressured. He's going to suck when he's pressured. And he's been careless with the ball. All right, fumbles, interceptions. And like I said, 20 touchdown passes, almost 4,000 yards passing. Great. I mean, if he gets 207 yards in this game, he gets 4,000 yards passing for Sam Howell. But the other side of things is this. He's a gunslinger. He runs around and does a lot of crazy shit, and he makes mistakes. Howell leads the NFL with 19 interceptions this year. Josh Allen from the Bills, who is second, has only 16. So it looks like Sam Howell's going to win the interception king this year. And, he's going to have the most interceptions with 19. But if he throws 2 or 3 more, let's just say he throws 2 more, will he throw a touchdown? I don't think so. I don't think he's going to do it against our defense. So if he throws 2 picks and he doesn't throw any touchdowns, he'll have 21 interceptions. The 23-year-old is going to have 21 interceptions and 20 touchdowns thrown. I don't know when's the last time you had someone throw more interceptions than touchdowns in a full season. But you can even look deeper into this here, guys. Howell is really lucky to have only 19 picks. According to Player Profiler, which kind of breaks down some of the would-be interceptions, Sam Howell has the most interceptable passes thrown this year. Yes, even more than Dak Prescott. Some people are going to say, more than Dak? Yes, a lot more than Dak. Sam Howell right now has 31 interceptable passes that were not picked off in the league. And he's also the second most in throwing danger plays or having danger plays. He has 35 of those to his name right now. Of any quarterback in the NFL, Sam Howell easily could have had 4 or 5 more interceptions, and some of the bounces went the other way. I know we said this about Dak at times, but also you can also say this about Mahomes and Rodgers and when Brady was here and on and on. They all have droppable, interceptable passes. Now, Sam Howell's, he's leading the league in interceptions, and he had a whole shitload that should have been intercepted as well. So he's going to be a guy that definitely is able to throw picks. He's going to throw picks under pressure. He's going to throw picks, when we are bringing guys like Deron Bland, to the forefront, maybe give him a little bit of deja vu from last game in Dallas. We'll see how it goes. Cowboy defense going to have to take advantage of how Sam Howell plays recklessly. And you got to make it. You just can't let him play that way and just 3 and out it, or get a couple of big plays and drive down the field, a field goal here and there, and get some first down snuck out. You got to make him pay for the mistakes, for at least some of those mistakes. For the second straight week, the Cowboys should hopefully. We did it last week against Detroit. Let's record at least 2 interceptions, and our defense needs to show off our playmaking ability against an offense, a Sam Howell offense that they are below average running the ball. And they're really below average. They're really below average running the ball, and they're pretty much below average even throwing the ball, which is their best quality. So let them throw. They'll get some yards. They'll move the ball a little bit, but you got to make those mistakes. You got to make them pay for those mistakes. That's just one of my things. I think our defense will come up big, kind of what you said, baby. But, kind of more on the interception side. I think if he throws 2 picks and does not throw any touchdowns, he'll have more picks than touchdowns for the season, which is a rare thing for a quarterback who plays full time. Throughout a season. It's hard for them to kind of do that. So 2 interceptions, I think maybe 3 interceptions. That's my bold predictions for the Cowboys this week in the defense. And I think, don't be surprised if there's a fumble or 2 as well. Not necessarily on Sam Howell, but somewhere in this game by the Cowboy defense, who obviously, one of the main things the Cowboy defense does is look to make to look for turnovers, cause turnovers. We live off of that stuff. That's one of the MOs from Dan Quinn's defenses in the last 3 years that he's been running it. So turnovers against this team. It should have happened more, I think, in the last game we had against them. But of course, we had that pick 6, and that was all later in the game. But I think we could do something similar in this game, maybe hopefully earlier, and get a couple of picks, let it snowball. Yeah, maybe Deron Bland gets a pick 6, like you said, and we get a couple other picks and just let the snowball begin of just continuous pounding until the third quarter. Then we can just chill out and let the score kind of, let the game kind of end as fast as possible with our backups. I just saw Marco Seppian dropping that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. Woo. The $5 holla by Mark. What did he hit to say, baby? I think he's actually just passed someone. I'll double check that in a minute. What did he say?
Not scared of Howell at all, but he has a great wide receiver and that's it. No running game, tight end, number 2 receiver, or O-line. I'd like to see how he'd do with the better cast around him.
Yeah, I mean...
Only if he's on another team.
Yeah, I mean, I think Sam Howell has some qualities. He reminds me of a shorter, a little worse Romo with a worse team around him, in my opinion. So, he's still young, though. Romo had 3 years to sit and chill, right? He's here in the second year, just bang, in the middle of it. So, I think that's a good comment. I mean, he's not a horrible quarterback. He's got that gunslinging ability. I just don't think he's Brett Favre or Tony Romo. So, usually that means you're in danger, A lot of people saying that the front office wanted Sam Howell to start, even though the coaches wanted Jacoby Brissett to start the last 2 weeks. So, that could be something else playing in here. The front office wants to see more of Sam Howell just to know what they're going to do in the future with this guy, see more of him and learn more. With Jacoby Brissett, just a stopgap as a backup quarterback for them. Never was going to be in their plans for the future of this team. So I don't think Sam Howell's in their future as well, to be honest. So, that's another bold prediction I had there. Just, I gave you my offensive side with Dak. I gave you a little defense there with the picks we can get. I know you throw in there the Ron Bland pick 6, which is a great bold prediction. Any other thought? And we talked about special teams and Cavante Turpin running one back. Anything on Brandon Aubrey?
I mean, not sure how bold it is to say that Brandon Aubrey kicks 2 field goals, makes both of them, and, finishes out the season setting incredible NFL records and then beyond.
Well, I think going by the way the season has gone, that wouldn't really be a bold prediction, right? But if he makes 3 of them, he breaks the record.
I know, but he said it himself, though. The ones he made before don't have any bearing on the one he's trying to make now.
Right.
So he just has to make the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So
if he makes 3, he breaks the Vanderjet record, as long as he doesn't miss. I think he needs 9. This would have been a big one here, baby. He needs 9 field goals to break the all-time streak in the NFL history of 44 in a row. So he ain't making 9 more, guys. All right, I'm just saying, if he makes 9 field goals in a game, that might be a record on just how many field goals you make in a game as well. That's a bold prediction, but he ain't getting 9. But he needs 3 to break the true records of a full season without missing a field goal. And also that's for the entire, for an entire season. It's not counting rookies or not here. He's got the rookie record already. This is like the overall kicking record with 3 field goals. He puts it over the top. I know if he keeps kicking the ball out of the end zone and touchbacks, he's also secured the most touchbacks in the history of the NFL as a kicker. So the man's breaking all kind of records. Somebody's already broken. It's more about, has he hit 3 without missing them? Maybe not windy, not as rainy, a little chilly, but I think he can hit them. A bold prediction would be he misses one. That would be more of a bold prediction, I think. So yes. So I guess that's the bold prediction there. I guess that he hits 2 or 3. And
Fernando, Mr. MCF spoke about it earlier, but no, Collins and Wilson are both going to be inactive. They're not going to be on the team or anything. Don't expect them until maybe at the soonest, possibly maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm going to say...
Just throwing that out there.
I'm going to say, just so we get on the same page for everybody here, La'el Collins never was going to play this week. Wasn't even a conversation. Neither was Damian Wilson. They just got here a couple days ago. They practiced once. La'el Collins practiced the first time in pads in a year. These guys are not here to save the day, guys. Just remember that. These are not guys who are going to go in there and start playing tomorrow. They probably won't even play this year. Go back to Martavius Bryant, who we just released without even seeing him on the active roster.
Never even saw the light of day.
Right. That could be a similar thing for Damian Wilson and La'el Collins. It's just a move to basically we're improving the practice squad. We're getting better practice squad players with more depth and experience. And that's all we're doing with this. These are not guys that Damian Wilson's not going to play or start ever for this team this year unless there's 18 injuries at linebacker. Or I say it's 18, but 3 injuries, okay? At offensive line, if there's 3 injuries, you might see La'el Collins. That's it. The Cowboys are going to go with Doga and TJ Bass and others. Maybe divisional round if we get there. Maybe conference championship. You might see these guys if needed in there. If we don't need them, they will not be in the game. You will not see La'el Collins or Damian Wilson in the game if they're not truly needed. any games this year. That's all. I just want to make sure we're on the same page on that. Everybody as a whole,
Yeah.
So you got your special teams kind of guess there, your little bold prediction. How about this last bold prediction, which is really comes down to the Cowboys having to get a strong start. Like I think, I'm not going to say the Cowboys need to get into a strong start. That's a must. We should be going down the field and scoring drive after drive after drive, touchdowns, field goals, on and on. Till that halftime, we should be at 28 points or more, in my opinion. The bold prediction, though, is the second half. Once we have a lead and we start taking our starters out, start putting in some backups, I think we might have two Dallas Cowboy players score their first touchdowns of the season. And I think a lot of that could be because of, we're going to have guys that are going to be playing that haven't played at all or much at all this year. Like I think Tolbert did score a touchdown this year, but you might get, a couple other guys sneaking in there with a touchdown you might not have seen this year, get anything this year. Maybe, I think Hunter Lipke even scored too, right? So you got a lot of our starters already scoring, but what about like Jalen Brooks with a touchdown possibly, right? You could see, what's his name? Sean McEwen, he's out for us, right? So we got Hendershot. Possibly could score a touchdown this year as our number one tight end once we get to the backups and, Ferguson comes out and Schoonmaker is out. So I'm just thinking we can definitely see a couple of our lesser known seen guys that play this year that definitely haven't scored pop in a touchdown or two from two new guys. We'll see what happens. But the game is going to be similar to our finale back in 2001 against in 2021 against the Eagles. In that game, the Cowboys, we remember it was an unimportant game, but we scored 51 points. And 5 different Cowboys scored touchdowns against the Eagles that game. When they took their backup, they were with their backups. And the Cowboys could have had their backups. We had our starters in them and just blew the Eagles out. Now, the Cowboys are probably not going to put up 50 points against Washington. 40 maybe, 30 we should definitely. But we're going to have a lot of offensive, we should have a lot of offensive success. Dak Prescott, or later on Cooper Rush possibly, right? With the lead in the second half, that's the key. We have a lead. We are up 28-3, 31-6. If we're up to those numbers, with 8 minutes, 6 minutes in the third quarter, you're going to start seeing all our backups coming in. And that's why I think there'll be maybe 2 different players having a chance to score their first touchdown of the season. Maybe a rookie, right, like Jalen Brooks, who was my primary kind of thought first, number 83. You also have number 89, Peyton Hendershot, who was called for tripping, even though he didn't do shit. It was all on number 97, what's his name? Aiden Hutchinson last week, and that horribly missed call by the refs. And if you forgot what it was, it's this right here. There's Hendershot 89 blocking. Someone actually said it was because of the way Hendershot blocked him that his leg went that way. What? That was a complete trip. And again, you don't have to hit the guy's leg to be called for tripping. All you got to do is make the action of tripping. That they call tripping on this play. But they called it on number 89 from the Cowboys, not number 97 of the Lions. So, whoop, that's a trip right there. No penalty on him. But it was on number 89. Hendershot gets a touchdown this week. Jalen Brooks gets a touchdown this week. Hey, maybe we score 14 points in the second half. Those are the guys that score them possibly. I'm just going to throw it out there, guys. Again, there's no Deuce Vaughn. He's on IR, so I would have thrown him in the mix there. But those are the 2 guys I think will probably find the end zone, best chances of the guys that haven't scored yet this year. So we should have a blowout victory. We should be up by enough in the third quarter to start putting some of our backups in. That helps our guys stay healthy, the starters. And you might see a couple guys against a poor defense in Washington, and they might have their backups in as well. It'll become a preseason game in the third and fourth quarters, possibly, if as long as we can take a lead in the beginning of this game and keep that lead. Keep that 20-point lead into half, into the third quarter. And then you see our backups come in, and then they pop up a couple touchdowns, is my hope. That's all. What are some of your guys' bold predictions for this game, I guess you can say?
Mike Cardona said, just get the win and get the fuck out of FedEx Field.
I agree.
Let me see. Kind of rolling back a little bit here. Oh, sorry. As Modi said, I wonder why the Cowboys have never been interested in Clowney.
I don't know. He also hit his $750,000 incentive, guys. He got a half sack today. We put him over the number, and he was out there celebrating. He deservedly so. Imagine getting that sack. He earned that $750,000 right there. Almost, $750,000 comes. That's part of the incentive. That's why some of these guys will play to the end, because they do have things to play for their own, their own work they put in there, right? They earned this stuff. So give credit to Jadeveon Clowney, but I don't know why the Cowboys have never been really, truly, they've always done their due diligence, but they're never really actually truly interested in him.
Lost in Translation said, the Eagles have trouble in paradise. A.J. Brown's threatening to go to Dallas next season. Twitter is abuzz.
We don't want him in Dallas. I don't want A.J. Brown. Sorry, I don't need him here. But hey, he can say whatever he'd like to say to make him feel like he's,
Now, Rolando Rodriguez with the bold prediction the other way, saying it's a close game against Washington. They go for 2 to win and don't get it.
Oof, that'd be torture. If we see this, I mean, I'll take the win, but it just means the Cowboys are going to end up losing sometime in the playoffs if we play like that. Mm-hmm. Against a team you just heard me how disabled. This team is literally disabled. They're on crutches in a wheelchair. These guys. There's no way they should be able to beat us. If they even come close to beating us, it's just a little embarrassing there for me as a Cowboy fan. Even if we get the second seed, it doesn't mean we're going to be able to really do anything. At home, we'll be better. We may win the 2 games, but I would be shocked if we got through the Niners in that conference championship game if we play this poorly against Washington. Although 2 wins in the playoffs can spark your confidence too, and you need 1 game to get to the Super Bowl. That could be all the Cowboys need. Maybe they're going to play for real when they're in the playoffs. I don't know if you can just turn it on like that, but sometimes they look like they turn themselves off completely when they're playing against a scrubby team like this, and there's something to play for this time. It ain't like last year. So remember that 26-3 whipping we got last year, and let's turn it around on them and do that to them this time around because we got to earn this one, and we have the second seed. The NFC East is right there for us. Let's go out there and just not take it, not sneak it away. Let's just grab it in front of everyone and just rip it out of their fucking hands.
Lost in Translation said Cooper Rush will score 2 touchdowns.
Hey, he could throw both those touchdowns, one to Jalen Brooks and one to Payne Hendershot. I like that. I like that. Dak will still throw 4, though, I think.
The Lunatic said, bold prediction, Big Mike will use the challenge flag.
Ooh, that is a huge prediction.
He's got to practice using that.
Yeah, he's got to get the flag and bring it around his body. That's going to take a while for him to reach around, grab it, and throw it. So he's got to do it quickly. He's got to work fast.
So, and with that said, I think that's a great spot to end our bold prediction little segment here, guys, as we wrap things up tonight.
We got to talk about some predictions, though. What are your score predictions officially? Because I know we kind of teeter with some numbers. If you have something you want to think about it a little bit more, but I have a couple thoughts in here.
38-13 Cowboys. But like I said, we're closer to 40 than 30. As long as our offense does what they need to do in the first half, I don't see why our backup offense can't score at least another touchdown, maybe get us in field goal position at least once or twice more, right? So, yeah, I'm going with 38-13 Cowboys, in case that needed to be clarified. But, yes, 38-13 Cowboys.
I'm going to go 45-17 Cowboys.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Damn right. If this is a team that's for real, if we're going to finish this, if we're going to get 4 touchdowns from Dak, and then 2 from Cooper Rush, that's 42 points.
Okay.
Throwing in a field goal in there, 45 points. And they might score 3 or 10 against our starters and stuff, but I think once they get a free bonus one at the end. They get 17.
Look, I give Dak 3 touchdowns. I'm leaving space for that pick 6. Gotham guy, shout out to you with a $5 holler saying, come on, bro, you want to take A.J. Brown over Gallup?
Oh, of course I would. Yeah, no, I would, of course, take A.J. Brown over Gallup, but I just don't like his... Number one, he's going to cost too much to come down. Let's not fool ourselves, because the Cowboys, unless they get rid of CeeDee Lamb and replace him with A.J. Brown, I don't want that. I want CeeDee Lamb. So that's why I think that way. He's a number one. You're not going to get another. We're dreaming, guy. You guys are dreaming if you think A.J. Brown's coming here. Don't fall for the okie doke. Every player, when they get mad at their team, you know what they say? Every player, I'm going to Dallas. Because that means everyone's going to say, ooh, we get a new guy with a name. And it ain't real. It's just them using this star to try to say, hey, you know what? We're sparking interest. Look, there's competition for me. Now, play me more to the other teams. You know what I mean? Marco Seppian with the 1-2. J. Lou dollar holler here. And by the way, with that drop, Mark, if I'm not mistaken here, actually jumps this man staying skeptical. Skeptical fan. Now he's in 3rd place on the overall board, jumping in front of skeptical fan. What did the man say?
He said, we're going to rest all injured guys like Hankins.
Oh, no. Hankins is playing this game, my man. Hankins is, we're not resting anybody in this game other than maybe Tyler Smith because he actually got an injury. Not because we're resting him, because he's injured. We don't want to torn, plantar fascia. Is gonna, it's something that the Cowboys rather rest him on and then move in there someone like TJ Bass, who has a whole week to practice with the starting four, with all five together. So,
by the way, Gotham Guy did say, "Oh hell no, I wouldn't replace Brown for Lamb." F that.
No, I'm saying that's the only way we would get him here, right? Gotham Guy, because you're not gonna get CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown here. That's a dream of unrealistic proportions. We have Brandon Cooks for one more year. He's on contract, so that's your 1-2 punch, guys. Gallup can be replaced, but Gallup's not gonna be replaced for AJ Brown. That's not happening. So that's my only point on that, Gotham Guy. I hope you get what I'm saying there. By the way, Gotham Guy, if I'm not mistaken, I think he dropped one a little bit earlier in the week. And now Gotham Guy is going to be in the membership officially. I mean, in the raffle officially, not the membership. But Gotham Guy, who did give, I think, earlier in the week, he's at $10 for the week. And like we said earlier, baby, how did they get in this fantastic raffle? 4 jerseys. It's the last time I'll say it, but I want to remind everybody about it. It's a 4-jersey raffle. That means 4 people
lucky winners
are going to win a jersey. And it's of your choice out of like 40 different guys to choose from in styles and sizes, sewn and stitched, the whole 9 yards. How does people get in this raffle to get eligible for it? How do they get bonus entries through the membership? And how can they keep getting better chances to win one of these 4 jerseys? How do they up your chances?
So if you drop $10, bam, you're automatically entered, and it is cumulative, right? And those entries do stack, so every additional 10 is another additional bonus entry. And if you are in the membership, like Mr. MCF said, it has its perks. You get a bonus entry once you're in the raffle if you are an MCF member. So shout out to everybody who's entered so far. Shout out to everybody who's going to continue to enter. Can't wait during the halftime of
the
our
wildcard
playoff game.
Yeah. The first playoff game, the wildcard game. And a huge shout out, the biggest shout out to the Lunatic.
Making it happen.
For making this thing happen. Appreciate him. Good luck to everybody that's in this thing. And hey, we'll keep stacking these names and these raffle entries for you guys as we lead up to next week's huge, even bigger game. The new biggest game of the year will be next week in the first round of the playoffs. Hopefully a home game for the Cowboys at the 2nd seed.
By the way, Lost in Translation said 35-10. Cowboys Big Mike will do the funky chicken after the game covered in Gatorade.
Last time he did that funky chicken, we lost it next week.
Asmodeus said, put it like this. Cooper Rush will be the captain of the ship at the start of the 4th quarter. Hopefully,
I agree.
Start of the 3rd is my hope. My hope, personally.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think there's any way he'll be starting the 3rd quarter unless we're up by 40 at halftime. I think that if we're up 28-3 or something like that, I think Dak could come out for a drive or maybe 2 at most. By the middle of the 3rd quarter, Cooper Rush is running the show. That's what I think is the realistic view on that. Unless we're blowing them out so badly in the 1st quarter that they just bench their guys, then we're good to go. Then we can just chill. But yeah, I think that's something that we're gonna have to. We have to earn it. We have to earn it, and it's gonna come not because we want to. It's gonna come because we force them to change to bench everybody, and we can relax a little bit. Marco Seppian from Hawaii, once again dropping that 5 on it, and yes, he's officially in 3rd place. Trying to go up to 2nd, getting closer and closer to JD from DC's 2nd place spot right there. What did Mr. Marco Seppian say as he takes Dwayne Broussard to 49 points?
Cut Gallup, Smith retires, and if Dak gives us a break on his $55 million contract with the money we saved this year, we can sign Brown. Playing Hankins is dumb.
Well, here's the thing. When I look at the contract situation with Dak, I mean, breaks and stuff like this, the breaks are the manipulation of the contract. That's what I guess it's not even a break. It's just the way Dak will be flexible with the way the Cowboys, divvy out the money through the years of his contract. So there's no breaks going on. There's no breaks. But $55 million would be a break, I think, for the Cowboys because we're hearing $57 to $60 million.
Let's be real. If we have the type of postseason success we're expecting, no one is going to be on a discount bargain deal. Being real.
And if the Cowboys somehow pop in there and win the number 6 Super Bowl here, you can bet your ass Dak's taking the $60 million, as he deserves. But the point is this. A.J. Brown, this team, I know Mark is saying we can sign Brown if we make these moves. We will not. I'll tell you this. You can mark my words on this, Mark. Mark my words, Mark, on this. Remember what I told you about this years and years ago when you first came on the channel? And you said, let's do this stuff, that stuff. We can start getting this guy and that guy. Because we don't have money because of Dak. Guys. Mark, you've seen this happen. You've seen the Cowboys have a lot of money.
Even if we have the money.
What do we do? Nothing. It's the clown show. So Dak's contract has nothing to do with who we can and cannot sign. And I mean that only in that I know we can sign more guys, but probably more busts from other teams that they're going to try to get a bargain deal on, and we'll go for the cheaper guy rather than the real deal guy. And then Mark's going to be upset again. You can't blame Dak on this. It's the front office fuckery. So, yeah, Dak Deal, no deal, discount, no deal. I don't care. The point is, the front office has to find a way. Other front offices find ways. They don't get deals from their guys. So we got to find a way to, when it comes to, signing guys. And I think signing A.J. Brown would not be a smart move. In this case, for the money, for the way this front office does things, and the fact that we can use that money elsewhere. The receiver spot's probably the spot we don't want to use it in. We got 2 guys already. Do we need to spend $20 million on our 3rd guy? Then we learn from the Michael Gallup situation. So, anyways, I'm not a big fan of paying A.J. Brown or any number 1 receiver to join our group, our receivers. I just don't see that as a good thing. And as far as the other comment, playing Jonathan Hankins is dumb. Jonathan Hankins probably would have played last week if it was a playoff game. So, it was the extra rest was really last week. He was supposed to play against Detroit. Cowboys held him out of that game. This game, they're just really treating him with kid gloves. But I think he needs to get some reps in there, even a half game of reps for Hankins. So when the playoffs come, he is rearing and ready to go. Got a little bit, knocked a little bit of that snap count.
Yeah, he'll be on a very limited snap count.
I think knocking a little bit of the rust off is a good thing against Washington, especially in the first 2 quarters where we kind of probably need him the most. And in the second half, he can be benched and rested. But I think that's the best deal. I think Hankins getting a little rust knocked off here before the playoffs is a good thing. And, of course, it also helps our run defense. Stop any kind of tries of their run. With Brian Robinson, they will try to run him. Maybe a little bit of Gibson, but mainly Robinson. We got to slow him down because then they will find a way to keep attacking us and keep themselves in the game. That's the biggest issue. We keep them in the game by them running with no Hankins in the game. Then we get other guys hurt. Then we get other guys injured because we got to play them the whole game. So end this thing quick. Put Hankins in. Get some rust knocked out. Get him 20, 30 snaps out of the game. That's it. What did Mark say, baby? He dropped another $5 holler, taking Dwayne down to 44 Robert Newhouse points. What did Mark say?
I'd play Lance. Let's see what he has.
I'm actually
no
good with
way
that.
Dak is worth $60 million. You don't pay $60 million to a guy who you keep a leash on. If he was a playmaker, I'd say yes.
Well, again, if you win a Super Bowl, I'm sorry. Sorry, Mark. You're going to be very disappointed. If we win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott, Dak's going to get his $60 million, whatever that money is.
Yeah, the only thing unleashed is the amount of money Dak is about to get.
And I'm not going to argue it. If we win a Super Bowl, you can pay him whatever he needs to get paid, whatever the market value is for a top quarterback. I understand the playmaker comment about Dak, and Dak is a different kind of playmaker. He's not the playmaker that kind of creates on his own. And when it comes to like a Aaron Rodgers, Tony, Mahomes or Brady or something like this. But to me, Dak creates in other ways. So he's got that top 5 quarterback value, and yes, he is worth it to me. Maybe not 60, all right, $55 million. Don't really matter at that point. It's one player you're missing, and you can say, oh, it's a good player. No, it won't be a good player. It'll be 5 players that, Mark, you'll have an issue with. We're not going to get 1 player for $5 million on the savings. We're going to get 5 players that are $1 million each. And you're going to say, what the fuck are we doing? And then, Mark, I have to remind you again, like I do often, clown show. That's why. The Dak contract don't matter. I don't care if you think it's worth it or if I think it's worth it. I don't care if anybody thinks it's worth it or not worth it. That's not I don't care. The Joneses are the ones that make the moves on this, and it's about the way they manage these guys and manage the money. If they keep playing around and fucking, wait, they're gonna find out.
Because I see a few people in the chat mentioning something similar to what I was kind of thinking about the whole AJ Brown thing, even outside of the money. I think the Cowboys have really focused on culture. Like overall, we've always had kind of a culture mindset or whatever, but the last few years, talent absolutely matters. You're not getting in this building unless you have a little bit of talent, right? But the Cowboys are definitely looking for not even the right type of guys, just the guys with the right kind of attitude.
And right? A.J. Brown doesn't seem to be that kind of guy.
I don't think A.J. Brown is down with the brotherhood, so to speak, right? Because this team, win or lose, they are together, they are unified, they have managed to stay together
Jason
this
Ripper
entire season.
I can't stand A.J. Brown, the hothead he is. So there's some issues there. Again, he's causing an issue, a rift, a crack in the locker room of the Eagles. The last thing we need is that over here in Dallas.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Win or lose, we've done a really good job of maintaining that. And I do have to give credit, not just to the general front office, but we've definitely been much more careful about the type of guys we're bringing into the building.
Yeah, and before we look at receivers, again, I see here Fernando Gonzalez. We still need a running back. Let's all not forget we need some kind of running back. So we'll probably draft a running back. But don't you want a power guy in there? We needed a guy this year, right? We fucked up on that one. So to me, you got to balance things a little bit better if you're the Cowboys and not overspend at receiver for a silly name that's only going to be pissed when you throw the ball at CeeDee Lamb 14 times a game.
Right.
And he gets it 3 times. You're going to bitch. especially if we lose a game. He's gonna bitch. I don't want him bitching on our team. He can stay with the Eagles or wherever the fuck else he wants. And that thing went fast. He was the best Eagle receiver in history, and now he's Harold Carmichael, and all of a sudden they want him gone.
Yep.
What the fuck? I don't trust it. I'll keep our guys at our culture, even though if we need more glass eaters and more tougher guys on this team. Some of that's up to the coaching to push that. And they might have failed a little bit on that, that tough-minded attitude that we kind of have to beat a team like the Niners.
Weenie Hut.
Or the Ravens. I know.
So, anyway, sorry.
That should wrap it up, guys. I mean, I think we hit it up. I think the score predictions, I said 45-17.
38-13.
So we gotta blow it on tap here, and that's what we both expect. I think most of you guys expect a blowout. Mostly, not everybody, but in the end, we just got to get this win. And if we get the win, I don't care if we win by 1 in the last second because we blocked a field goal and we ran it back for a touchdown and we got lucky. So I'll take it. Because then you're at home for possibly, if you win, 2 weeks and possibly 3 weeks if the Niners falter. And at the worst case, all right, we get knocked out in the conference championship game against the Niners. I'm not accepting that. But I want to get there to get a chance to knock their asses out. That's 2 years in a row they knocked us out. It cannot be 3 in a row, or else they own us. I mean, they already own us. They'll really own us if they knock us out to go to the Super Bowl. This is the battle for who's trying to get number 6, the Niners or the Cowboys. And that's going to be a conference championship game. That if we can win our 2 games and they win their 1 game, that'll be the game. Dallas at San Francisco. The thing is, we don't have to win 3. We have to win 2 road games to get there.
Yeah.
We got to win 2 home games if we win this game at Washington tomorrow. 2 home games against teams like, the Packers. And a team in the second round like the Lions or the Eagles. Just saying, we can beat these teams in Dallas. And whatever comes after that, we'll figure it out. Whether it's in Dallas, okay. It might be the Eagles in Dallas for the Super Bowl. Or it might be us at San Francisco for the Super Bowl. Either way, we'll figure it out then. But this is the first step. Yeah, NFC East champs, true. But what comes with the NFC East champs is what's more important, and that's the 2nd seed in the playoffs. And that's the most important thing at this point. This Washington game is the most important game of the year, maybe the most important game since 1996. So, there you go. That's it from me. I lost my voice. Everyone gave their score predictions. We gave ours. And we're ready for this game tomorrow.
And in about T-minus 24 hours, we'll be seeing everybody right here.
12 hours.
True. Shit. Man.
Yep.
Time is weird. But
about 13 hours, right?
Yes. We'll be seeing everybody here to watch our Dallas Cowboys hopefully kick some ass, take some names, secure the seed, and end the regular season on a high note. Yeah, on a very high note, as the 2nd overall seed in the NFC, which would be monumentous to try to at least give us the best chance, other than getting number 1 seed, getting the best chance to get to the Super Bowl and get that 6. With that said, guys, again, thank you for everybody here chilling, hanging with us. Take us one final second to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. And, of course, extra special shout-out to everybody who dropped the love tonight, right? Yeah,
let me give those. I don't know if you did the shout-outs in the chat, but let me give a quick shout-out here real quick of everybody who dropped the love, because Amazing Games is amazingly back in that navy blue crew. Traveling Fools also jumping in that navy blue style of things. We got Stanley Smith just dominating it, and currently the leader in the Cash App. Skeptical Fan, he's also moving up, dropping a lot of love through different ways. Cash App, gifting, memberships, Streamlabs. Dwayne Broussard always kicking off the pre-stream show like this with the Dak drop. We got Jason Renfro, who's the overall leader right now, and Sponsor Week, and the Gifting King. Much love to him. Brandon James making a little run, getting some memberships, and is getting some raffles added to his name. Of course, Gotham Guy getting that raffle entry, and Mark Hovsepian in the house, adding a couple more for him as well. Cannot do this without your guys' truly love and support. Again, Sponsor of the Week, Jason Renfro. He's also the Gifting King. You got Dwayne Broussard at 44 points on the Stream Boss. And, of course, back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys, you got SnugX repping the Cash App side. Cash App-wise, Stanley Smith. Oh, Skeptical it was in the lead, but Stanley Smith said, he jumped everyone in the Cash App. He's our current leader, trying to get that crown from SnugX and break that streak. And then you got, of course, Jason Renfro on the overall board, trying to go back-to-back as our Sponsor of the Week. Tomorrow at the end of the show, we will crown some champions on the Cash App side. We'll see if Stanley Smith holds on to that. We'll see if Jason Renfro holds on to the overall board. And, of course, you look at the gifting board. Jason Renfro's in second place, trying to go trying to go back-to-back. The problem is you got JD from DC repping in enemy territory for this game tomorrow. He's currently the leader of the gifting board so far. Tomorrow we'll crown some champions at the end of the game, and hopefully crown the NFC East champions of the NFC, I guess you could say, of our division, crown champs of our division, and the second seed in the conference. Let's go Cowboys. That's what it's about tomorrow. All right, baby. Hit up the freaking shout-outs. Let's get them done, and let's get ready for the game tomorrow.
Mike Aldana, Stephen White, Lost in Translation, Jason Renfro, Fernando Gonzalez, Marco Seppian, Xavier Hidalgo, Asmodeus. We have the Mental Lunatic, Gotham Guy. Let me see who else. James Brady, Daniel Castro, Rolando Rodriguez. Trying to roll back, make sure I didn't miss anybody. Snug X in the house.
No.
LW, Matt Persico, Haley 94 Ware, Weapon X88, Fuego bringing the heat. Well, Mr. Stewart, of course.
I heard you shout out the Lunatic, of course, right?
Yeah.
Just gonna throw it up there so everyone remembers. Leave it up there.
See, Dirty South MVP. That's pretty much everybody here in the chat that I can see. So, guys, again,
drop them if you got them.
Hanging here. Yeah, drop them if you got them. But, guys, you know why we do what we do here at MCF, right?
Because the Lunatic says he's got some jerseys to raffle off. So, yeah, you know how to get into that, guys. Cannot wait for that. That'll be next weekend when we get the Cowboy game announced. What day? Saturday? Probably not. Yeah. Sunday? Probably. Or maybe Monday. So, we'll see what happens. I think last year we had it Monday night, if I'm not mistaken, against the Bucks at nights, right? So, we'll see what happens. But this raffle will be done then. We'll have 4 jerseys to 4. We'll have 1 jersey apiece to 4 different winners. Can't wait to see who wins each of these 4 jerseys. And it all brought to you by the Lunatic. Well, appreciate everybody in the house for that. And baby, before we can officially drop out of here and clock out of here for the night, before we can get out of here and get ready for the cameras, lights, camera, action tomorrow with this final regular season game of the season, very important game. Tell everybody what we got to do before we drop out of here for tonight.
We got to drop.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Why do we do this? Why do we do this here each and every night? You forgot too, but why do we do this here on My Cowboys Family each and every night? It's a simple reason, baby.
Hey, it's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
It's a little late for us here too, guys. Yes, guys, and here it's all about no matter what. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. You know, here at MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here on this channel for 6.5 years and beyond right now, we're over 6.5 years on YouTube, right here at My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. And it starts, again, the NFC East and that second seed tomorrow. And 13 hours away from now, guys. I'm ready. You ready? We all ready. Get that 6 and beyond, and it starts with that second seed. Guys, thank you again for rocking it and dropping the thoughts and your comments in the chat all night long. Can't do this without your guys, input on our team. And, of course, definitely can't do this without you guys' show of love and support, donations, whatever you want to call it. We appreciate your love that you drop in here, whether through Cash App, Super Chats, membership, gifting, whatever. Humbled by the best fans of all YouTube. On that note, as we clock out and drop out of here for the night, and relock and reload for the game day tomorrow. Baby, tell everybody what we got to do before we officially drop on out of here for the night.
We got to drop the beat.
That beat has been officially dropped, guys. Thank you. As you can see, we're repping our Dallas Cowboys shirts today. Tomorrow, we're repping our Dallas Cowboys sewn and stitched jerseys right here on My Cowboys Family. So we'll see you then. Lights, camera, action, discussions, all that good stuff tomorrow right here. You guys can still stack your raffle entries overnight. You can stack them tomorrow during the stream. Of course, kings and queens will be crowned tomorrow. Champions will be found out. So join us for that as well as hopefully getting a big victory for that second seed for the NFC playoffs. I cannot wait. It is a playoff game to me. See you guys here about 20 minutes, 30 minutes before kickoff tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's on. And here, it's a wrap on MCF for another Cowboys chat in the books as Dak and Micah overlooking FedEx Field, ready to chomp on some Commanders. I'm ready. You ready? We all ready. Let's go. Here in MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. Never, ever, ever forget the number one thing here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone in the house. We'll see you all back here for game day tomorrow. Don't forget to hit that like for the stream. Hit subscribe for the channel. Keep growing this thing. And, of course, hit that notification bell to all videos so you know when we're going live. It means tomorrow as well, right, for the game. You can also follow us and jump into the Discord. And, of course, follow us on all social media, specifically Twitter, X, at MyCowboysFamily. That's that. Stay safe, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you for game day tomorrow. Peace, and never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!